because I'm mad, you're not showing me things for something like that because you're mad. Yesterday, you should have noticed that basically the start. Draggy was 13.
What was that? What was that?
Speaking of nudes, do you have child?
Yes! Can we be honest, right? I know we talk about neo-vaginas a lot here, right? We don't spend nearly enough time talking about the absolute monstrosity.
Mental disorder that I match all of the criteria, and it's like, it's one of those evil abusers disorders, and it just...
So, very simply, Birdie is someone that was accused Synnibear of the grooming, which led to a drama we obviously had some participation in, okay? Further to that, there was this allegation of catnapping that occurred, and this Queen individual had apparently stolen Squirp, which was Synnibear's cat, renamed the cat to Latte, and there was some drama that happened around that, with Synnibear releasing a video talking about the fact that they had their cat napped, essentially, right? Queen recently released a document, and the document itself was kind of dry. It was fun to read, but it was kind of dry. And throughout the document, they referred constantly to this call, right? They referred to this call where basically they had confronted Birdie about being like a total shitter bed blob freak, essentially, okay? And they kept referring to this call, and I thought, damn, that call sounds like it would be good content. It's unfortunate that we just got this document to read, okay? But we got through it. It was okay. It was an okay document. It was an okay Google Docie. But now that call that kept getting referenced has been released. So I'm hoping that in the course of this call, there's going to be some fun content of this total shitter getting called a bed blob. But let's find out without any further ado. Here is the leaked confrontation between Birdie and Queen, the catnapper.
Hi, it's me.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, Jack, could we possibly talk out here?
Oh, yeah.
I have a lot of things to say. I'm sorry for surprising you like this, but I do have a lot of things to say.
Fuck, my earring fell out. Sorry. What is that?
You're good. You want to turn the light on in here?
Alright.
So I'm going to talk to you about a lot of things. This is going to be a very serious discussion because I wanted to talk to you in person. I wanted to talk to you about everything that's been going on here. Excuse my voice, but my voice is very dead. I'm sick.
It's okay, don't worry about it.
Yeah. So speaking about the don't worry about it, you've been saying so much about don't worry about it, and then you complained to other people, even to us, about things like that. And then speaking of that, you've been guilt tripping us for a lot of things. You say that we bit off more than we can chew. Of course we did. And then, so that's why you should get professional help, which you said you finally get a therapist. Why didn't you think of getting a therapist all after the suicidal attempts? You've been trying to get suicidal attempts multiple times, twice within me.
You think I didn't want a therapist before?
They've been suicidal twice. Does that mean like an attempt or saying they're going to kill themselves?
I've been trying to look for one for like a year.
You have the money. You can do this. You also told me that during that one suicidal attempt with Squirt, you told me that it was only just going to prevent the inevitable. Anyway, speaking about the mask, like you tell us that you're masking a lot.
So you can tell already that this person is obviously like a fucking thorn in the side, wretch, idiot. But this person, Queen, is clearly like worried about confrontation. So the way that they're presenting it is not in like quite the right way. Like there's a way that you need to lay this out and put this down in order to have like a productive confrontation. But there's like an anxiety to it. You know, they're kind of clearly a little bit anxious about having this conversation and confronting Birdie. But Birdie, by all accounts, is a total wretch loser to live with.
Lot. That means you hide things from us a lot too. You tell us that we hide things from you. You hide things from us as well. How are you supposed to tell that if you're okay or not okay, you know? And then I have an entire thing written down, so I know I can keep myself on track.
You're good.
And then you also make people uncomfortable as well. With me and the My Little Pony thing, I know you did not know I was uncomfortable by it, but you told me that you get annoyed at people whenever they're annoyed at gore or anything like that because that was your childhood or something like that. I don't like seeing gore at all, and I didn't want to tell you because I was trying to keep you happy. Of course I was going to not do that. That's what it is. I can keep myself on track.
You're good.
And then you also make people uncomfortable as well. With me and the My Little Pony thing, I know you did not know I was uncomfortable by it, but you told me that you get annoyed at people whenever they're annoyed at gore or anything like that because that was your childhood or something like that. I don't like seeing gore at all, and I didn't want to tell you because I was trying to keep you happy. Of course I was going to not do that. That's what it is. You tell me to be honest, and then you don't be honest yourself for those kinds of things because there's more later. And then you also rely heavily on us. There's a lot. Oh Jesus, there's so much that jumps around. Let's talk about this part. Like, even found your behavior weird because you there and back with, and it had to take him a while spending a crap ton on gas while you just hid in had to take you back spending a crap ton on gas while you still hid in the guest room. And then the glorification of your self scars, and you carved his name in your arm. That's
Wait, what?
Not great. You know this.
I can't take it out.
Even.
Hang on a sec. Am I understanding this correctly? Birdie was okay. Birdie was carving names in her arm. Is that right? What? Sorry, I just the cuts and stuff as well. So Birdie says that they hate gore, but they were carving someone's name into their fucking arm or something, dude. Bro, this is fucking deranged, bro. Spinal. Who else is there? You got Spinal. You've got the other person likes Kumo. Kumo loves a good cutter, doesn't he?
And then the fact that you still did that, even if you can't take it out and stuff like that. I know it's still before you guys met you, but the fact that you did all these things even really recently shows that how is there going to be change? Because there's not been change. You've been saying that there's change there. There's not change with how I'm going to keep going on. And then you say that you want Synny dead. You panicked out when I showed you the screenshots of Synny saying, I want him dead, I want him to die, he's doing things to him. And then you say the exact same thing back. That's just hypocrisy. And I will get more on that hypocrisy later. And then more about your excuses. You say, you excuse Potts for a lot of things. I understand you can't do it, but...
Yo! Dude, yes!
Sister
The Potts
Godiva became
thing!
a member. Sister Godiva celebrates 13 months of membership. Birdie had a problem with people not liking gore lol.
Thank you for the membership, Sister Godiva. Thank you. Well, dude, the problem you've got here is, like, Potts is a real thing. But obviously it's just true that they're using Potts as a sort of excuse. You see what I mean? The Arace individual apparently is a hypersexual sonar. You can already see the issues without me finishing the sentence.
Too. He manages it. You don't try to manage it. You have 10K. You can keep that manageable. It's manageable. You know this. You research on a lot of things. You research about bipolar disorder, and then there's just so much about things that you can research and you just don't want to. That's about the driving as well. You have me read you out driving when you can literally just research it yourself.
Chud, I'm passing a message. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you. Yes, I'm sure that Hassan is very pleased to hear about me not talking about Ethan Hassan anymore.
You need to have the want to do it. It's your mindset that prevents you from doing things. You can do it. I know you can do it. This is both a very go-getting compliment and also annoyance compliment. That's both an annoyance and a I believe in you kind of thing. I know you can do it. And then you also use your BPT to insult us, and then also trying to kill yourself. Like, you use that to explain why you do all these things, when it's not just that, when you give all those reasonings for why you want to kill yourself, and yet you're okay. One moment you're fine, the next you're not, which mood swings and stuff like that, yes, but you don't keep that managed. You say, like, you don't take things seriously. How can we take you seriously as well? We have to try taking you seriously, so we're taking you seriously all the time. Well, you told me you don't take suicide seriously. Speaking of your hypocrisy, you say that Synny's not clean. You're not clean as well. Lauren has to clean up a lot of your stuff.
She didn't tell me that.
Your plates, you leave your plates in there, and she has to clean that. Even then, speaking of the plates about home,
She could have said that to me. What? I wouldn't have known. I can't read people's minds.
See, the problem is here. What this sounds like is that Birdie is a total freak, total slob, and rather than as they go along discuss and highlight the issues, right? The problem that you get is that you then mounts up, and then when you confront them, you are fucking spilling everything, and you're like boom, 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 right? And this, you know, as much as it's funny watching Birdie get a bit of a rollicking, it's not really productive because they're then having to account for all these issues. And if you do have a lot of issues, you need to kind of go through them and address them one by one and talk them through. But now you're just getting this fucking spurge of shit at Birdie. And to be fair to Birdie, who is a total wretch, by the way, I mean, how are you supposed to like really engage with this? You know, it's like not really helpful. Yes, exactly. Death by 1,000 cuts you've never been made aware of. And obviously Birdie should know some of this stuff. Obviously Birdie is a fucking idiot. But in terms of confronting them, this is pretty worthless. You know? Yes, it's like an IRL Google Docy. Yes, exactly.
I'm not mad at her. It's just like I didn't know, so.
Common decency. I know you weren't raised right.
Common decency?
Not even common decency. It's household rules, stuff like that. You tell Synny to do the dishes and everything like that. She says she does, she will, and the stuff like that. So you know that the dishes should be done.
I don't know how they're supposed to be done.
Oh, now suddenly we're saying...
What do you mean? Come on, dude. How... Don't you learn how to do dishes? Well, I suppose maybe they didn't go to school. But I remember learning how to do dishes at school in like home ec, or whatever it's called. Bro, what do you mean? What is there to know? You put the washing up liquid, or the soap, or whatever you call it in America, in the bowl, put warm water in, and then get a sponge and wipe the stuff down. It's like not particularly complicated, bro. How do these people survive, dude?
I don't know how they're supposed to be done. You can ask people. Nope. Sit down, Jack. Jack, sit down. Come back here.
You're just here to yell at me.
I'm not yelling at you. I'm literally criticizing you. This is your excuses. You're using your excuses again. You said you want to change. You said you want me to be honest. I am being honest. If you want to say that you changed, go sit down.
I just don't want you to talk back. Just go through the list.
Okay.
And afterwards. Sorry.
You're good. You apologize to and me, and you throw under the bus for the same things, kind of like that. We already went over that on the thing. You say agree to disagree. Why are we agreeing to disagreeing? That's not agreeing to disagreeing, because you're just constantly saying things when we have receipts of you knowing that you should have done this, stuff like that. I told you in November 2nd that, hey, it's not going to want to move back in. That.
Oh, yes. Yes, I think we've seen this before. The place is trash. The bitch would never pick up after herself, and this is the state that she left her room in, apparently. Or he, I should say. The My Little Pony merch as well really sets it off, doesn't it? Dude, look at this. I mean, it's not really dirty. It looks more like just like stuff around. Right? It's just very messy. But then, would it... This seems like the kind of thing where you've moved in and this is the state that it's in after, like, however long. I mean, how much worse would it get if you just left it? Yeah, but the point is like, this is after what? The wheelchair as well. The wheelchair too. We expected... And also, this is after they'd moved out, right? Yeah. So they moved out, and this. So also bear in mind, this is after they've moved out. So this stuff here is supposed to be shipped to them, and this is what they're left with. So they got a pack. Hey, A Spade. Say space, sorry, dude. A space. Thank you very much for doing the call, by the way. Appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, what sort of state is this to leave it in? It's absolutely obscene. AIDS space. AIDS space. AIDS. Mr. AIDS. Thank you for the call, Mr. AIDS. You know, this is not a reasonable state to leave it in if you're expecting this to be shipped to you. Ace spade. As in ace of spades. As in, as the ace of spades.
Hey, she probably won't do that kind of thing. You say that we can't read minds, you can't read our minds either. That's why we know, and yet you're trying, that's hypocrisy right there. And then about your racist past, I understand you said that you're doing the racist stuff, but you never told us you said the N-word, hard R, that you...
What? I did tell you, though.
Told me, I forgot about it, but you never told about this. Especially...
Tell them, I told...
Well, I don't remember that, so my bad.
You weren't in the room.
My bad.
Wait, what?
And yet you're trying, that's hypocrisy right there. And then about your racist past, I understand you said that you're doing the racist stuff, but you never told us you said the N-word, hard R, that you...
What? I did tell you, though.
Told me, I forgot about it, but you never told about this. Especially...
See, this is the other... You're now bringing in trivial concerns, right? Not cleaning up after yourself is a reasonable concern. The hard R thing is a completely worthless nonsense. Why are you even bringing that into this? This is an utterly worthless thing to bring to someone if you're supposed to be talking about like their conduct of like not cleaning up after themselves and stuff like that. Who cares? Who cares?
Tell them, I told...
Well, I don't remember that, so my bad.
You weren't in the room.
My bad. That was my fault. Then you flat out lied for a lot of things. You said that you lied about paying rent the whole time with Synni when there were some spots that you didn't pay rent. And then you said that that Synni would be helpless without you for that kind of stuff. And yet she's not being helpless. She's trying her best. But I know Synni's bad. I'm not saying that she's not horrible. Just because I'm pointing out some good about her, does not mean she's not bad, you know. There's gray in things. Speaking of the gray, you tell us that you're gray. The world is gray. The world is not black and white. Just because someone gets onto you, just like how you walked out, this is gray. I'm not yelling at you. I'm genuinely not. I'm telling you criticisms, but the fact that you're thinking that I'm yelling at you shows that you're not taking this really seriously.
I'm listening.
Are you taking me seriously?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you told that you did not have money for rent while your 10K was in the bank.
How do I make money off depressed people?
Excuse me? You said the hard R in my household? That's a bigger sin than not doing the dishes. Take your crusty MLP merch and leave.
Thank you for the super chat, Slender.
You told her, because we sent you to, we made sure that...
I couldn't get all the cash because the ATM had a limit, and then I gave her the rest of it through PayPal.
That's what you told me. But at first you told her that you didn't have the money, which is why she bought you food and stuff like that.
The GoFundMe money didn't go through.
We made sure that you had the GoFundMe money before you go into it.
It didn't go through right away. It took a while.
Then why did you lie to us about having the GoFundMe money?
I didn't. I said it was processing.
You're lucky you're dealing with me. I don't remember shit.
It's okay.
And then you are being a slob, but you're saying that you're clean. With the Synni house and stuff like that, you have your clothes on the floor and stuff like that. And the blender, you talk smacked about Synni about having the blender. All you gotta do, run the water, stick it underneath the water, dump it out. Run the water, stick underneath the water, dump it out. Not because of your pots, no nothing. Simple, easy, done. Speaking of your pots, you're not eating enough, you're not being healthy. That's why your pots is bad. That's your fault. So you stick it underwater, leave it out, and then confront Synni later, being like, hey, I washed this for you for that kind of stuff. Can you please do it? And then you move on from that. You don't hold grudges, no nothing. For those kind of mini things. And then speaking of the food in your house, you told...
Right, it's just... This queen person is just very bad at this. It's this stacking up of issues to the point that, like, you know, you don't have this conversation and you're just hitting them with anything you've got, right? I don't even fucking like Birdie. But this queen person is also worthless at fucking doing this, right? The way you do this, you say, right, look, obviously, you know, we want to have the best possible situation. I've just got a few issues I want to talk about to try and improve things. And then you just go point by point. And you hash out that point, come to some sort of agreement about what outcome is going to come off the back of it. You agree it, boom, you put it in place. Next thing. And you have to let things go. You cannot seriously be talking about the fucking N-word. That is absurd and not worth getting into, right? Like, that's a personal conduct thing, right? It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Focus on the dishes, you know. Focus on whatever things are actually an issue that are making it worse to live in the house, you know. Those are supplementary things you can maybe talk about later if you want to have some sort of code of conduct around language or something. I don't fucking know. But that's not really what matters here. Clearly, they're a total useless wretch. Focus on that.
You told the whole group chat that you didn't have food in your house. Let me go check this fridge right here, right now. You have food right here, right there, everywhere. There's food right here. There's food right here. You can most easily get food right there, and yet you complain to us. You had Laurel buy you food, Uber you food. That's just manipulation there. That's just lying. Continuing on. You rely on a lot of things for pots to avoid doing things, like I said, cleaning things or doing stuff. I know you can. I know it's hard for you, but you can manage it. With doing the doctors, you have 10K. You can easily ask me before this all happened to go to the doctors and stuff like that. The fact that I have to tell you to do things like, oh, you need to go to your doctor's appointment, or, oh, you need to, like, you know, maybe figure out your pots, and then sometimes you ignore me, and then sometimes you're like, oh, maybe we should do this another day or something like that, or then you fall asleep on appointments. Literally, I literally knocked on the door multiple times for your one appointment with your therapist, because she said she was going to be a temporary therapist, and then she called me saying, hey, where's Jack, by the way? And I was like, he fell asleep, he didn't wake up. I told you literally the night before, do you have a therapist? And then you say, oh, alarm clocks don't work because you...
Oh my god, dude. So they've got a therapist, right, which is obviously designed to help out with some of these issues, and they can't even be awake for that. And what, an alarm clock? Dude, a fucking alarm clock doesn't work. Oh my god, it's fucking worse than I thought, dude. How do these people survive, bro? Just absolute definitional bed blobs. It's insane.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Being diagnosed with POTS does not mean having an excuse to lick the slop out of the pots and pans like a starving dog.
Thank you, Slender, for the $5.
A nice sleeper, but yet you put on an alarm clock for that one really important doctor's appointment. Seems like you're prioritizing some differently, but that's different. You also omit a lot of things. You tell me I'm omitting a lot of things. You don't realize you're omitting a lot of things to myself. I can handle omitting things. I can handle it. You, on the other hand, can't handle it. You say, I can't handle it. The fact that you just tried walking up.
Dude, all you're doing is, like, you are not... Dude, this is such a terrible way of dealing with this. They're going to be switched off. If you're just lecturing at them and yapping, they're going to switch off and just not be interested. Like, most of the things you're saying are not going to be getting through to them. I think that
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Your time is running out. Hourglass emoji.
Oh, Parry!
Parry raid. Parry loves you again, even if you hate him. Parry will save us.
Parry! Thank you for the raid. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Right now and said that I was yelling at you proves my point and proves you wrong. You were wrong about saying that you're able to handle this, and you're not. Anyway, continuing on. You take an...
Whoa! So you're not
that's
even giving a
wonderful.
chance to
But
respond
how
to
do
any
I
of
make
that.
money off depressed people?
Call Perry, he's in labor.
Thank you for the super chats. There's not even a chance to respond to anything you've said. It's just on to the next thing. Next page. Next page. Casey Lee IRL, thank you very much for the Twitch raid. Thank you. It's totally worthless. This is such a stupid way to do this. Okay. Oh my god, thank fuck there's at least one person in the comments speaking some sense about this. Queen legitimately is pissing me off. No, I do not support Birdie at all, but Queen is extremely disorganised when bringing up these issues. She's sick and her voice is out, she repeats the same things, and she admits to forgetting things. I feel like this confrontation should have been done a different day when it was planned better, and she wasn't sick and forgetting things she planned to talk about. Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah. Like, there's plenty you can say about Birdie here, but this person is absolutely useless at dealing with this, dude. Oh my god, bro.
A mile instead of an inch. I understand that you're in a very unfortunate situation while we're trying to help you, but you start whittling us down by saying we're not helping you, and then start lying about things, and then your lies start surfacing back up again. And speaking of your lies, your internet drama and stuff like that, it's not drama, it's pure criticism. You've been victim blaming everyone without talking about yourself. You've been saying this person did this, and then you don't talk about what you've done. You had the police called on you multiple times, and then you barely said what you've done there. What you've done to basically kind of deserve that kind of police calling, or why did that happen? But you go, oh, my mom just hates me or something like that, when we find out, oh, you've been violent to people. Anyways, you victim complexing. You say that you have to be the victim in every situation possible, and then with how in the apartment and how she left, you literally tried killing yourself over stairs. The same thing with and stuff like that. I know you're not blaming it, but that's just extremely things. No one can come back. I know you said that you understand why Jade left, but then you hold a grudge. You say that you understand, but you keep holding a grudge, holding it above his head. Be like, oh, you abandoned me for the apartment, by the way. She did this.
What did Queen say in response here? Let's read this now. I'm Queen and I'll provide some context to the situation. Call was recorded December 7, 2024. It was recorded just in case anything violent or horrible went wrong, as I've heard he was violent in the past, and my friend Judy Smith was paranoid he would get violent. So this audio recording was for proof. The only reason why I gave this to Ace was because I know that some people want to listen to the full context. I'm not a private person, so I don't mind. I also don't have the time to edit, nor the knowledge to even do it. This post is mainly for those who wanted to listen. Back then, I didn't know fully of Jack's past, only snippets here or there. Okay, like, obviously, anyone that's expecting bringing up Jack's past, when this isn't about Jack's past, it's about litigating the issues of the living together, is fucking absurd. And also, yeah, dude, this cope here of like, oh, it was just to make sure they didn't go violent. You know, the releasing of this call, whilst appreciated, because we can now listen to it, there's clearly an element of you wanting to get the boot into Birdie here. I don't think it's been released for, like, good reasons, you know? But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't expect this person to bring it all up. Even now I know of many missing context running Jack, which is why I didn't bring up much of Jack's past, and only what he's mainly done to us, as that's something I'd have more context to. The reason why I was all over the place was because this confrontation was done last minute. Julie Smith wanted him gone by that night and had told me a few hours prior they were going to kick him out. So I didn't have much time to prepare, so that's why the list is basically what Jack had done to us. I was also sick at the time, so my voice sucked. Apologies for that. Fucking hell, dude. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, this is like litigating personal issues between two housemates. It's not the end of the world. It's just very frustrating to listen to. Because even if Birdie's a total wretch, it's just handled in like a very poor way, you know?
She dipped on me. You told me she dipped on me when she did not. She told me she was going to take a break from you. And speaking of taking a break, you said she ghosted her. She ghosted you. Literally, the last thing she sent was something of you. And then, like, before that, before you sent her something, she sent something and then you left her and then you texted her and then she texted back something and then you said like, okay, I don't quite remember that, but I can probably have to pull it up or something. She's not here currently, but still, you lied to us about that kind of stuff. You tried making yourself the victim and kind of things, and then you kicked us out when you said you could handle it. When you went to the Band-Aid strip up, you kicked us out of the group chat. And then with the Draghi situation, you said he's sadistic and loves attention. He's 17. That kid is 17. You're 20. 20. You just turned 20. I understand. You just left your 19s. You just left your teens. I understand. But I'm owning up.
Okay. So, is this really that big a deal? Calling someone that's 17 sadistic? It's just a completely worthless thing to bring up. It's like they've got this fucking list in their head of all the bad things they've done. They want to litigate all of them right now. You've got to let shit like that go. It's just not worth it. It's not worth holding on to that, man.
Up for my mistakes. I understand how I handled the Synni situation and how I was immature for all that stuff. I understand, and that's why I was in the wrong for that kind of stuff. How I handled Synni, how we all handled Synni's situation. For God's sake, with the cat, you lied to your audience, basically, that Synni took the cat. Even if you said, oh, I thought she was, you didn't try to clarify it. Within the same night, I texted you saying, hey, by the way, here's the plan here. If you give me full ownership of the cat, I can take care of it and stuff like that. And you did. And then you didn't try to respond to your audience about that kind of stuff. And I'm trying to circle around the elephant in the big room. Speaking of being a slob, speaking of all this, you can't take care of yourself. You can't, you say that you tried to do it, and yet here you are trying so hard not to get an Uber, trying so hard not to go to your doctor's appointment, trying so hard not to eat food normally. How are you going to take care of a cat? I know you said you can't take care of a cat, which is why I'm taking care of the cat, but I generally don't think the cat should go back to you. I generally don't think. Synni's given me full ownership of the cat. She thought the cat was going back to you as well, but now she's realizing that, hey, maybe the cat shouldn't go back to you as well. So I generally don't think the cat should go back to you as well. Generally don't think. But anyway, continuing on, because there's...
Right. So that is obviously quite a big thing, talking about the ownership of the cat. And it's almost smuggling it in there so that you don't have to like engage with what is probably quite a difficult, moment talking about the cat ownership. God, this Queen person is... Everyone involved in this is just a total fucking wretch. And then you're not even letting them respond. The next grievance on the list. Let them respond. Let them say something about what you're saying. Have a conversation with them, for fuck's sake, bro.
So much more. And then your own family having, like I said...
By this point, what do you think Birdie is doing? Do you think Birdie is sat there ready to listen to this and hear more information? Or do you think they're just going to be sat there, mind wandering, thinking about something else because it's just another fucking thing they want to moan at you about? You would not want to be subjected to this. You would be like, fuck, dude, just fucking let me talk. Let me say something. Let me respond.
Back with the cops because you assaulted your siblings, including the 7-year-old. You said that... Not said, but you have that past history of doing that, and there's so much as well. Because then you go your trauma competition. You say about the medical condition. You tried one-upping her for that. I remember that, and it's not worse than yours. Literally, it has a rare disease. You have POTS and BPT, all which can be managed. You just don't try to make it manageable. And then because you're also making it worse, you're not eating normally. You skip days. You tell us, oh, when we say we don't have money, you go, oh, I guess I'll starve. Jay literally paid for your food for one day. And I was like saying, hey, I don't have money, which I did not have money then. And then so he paid for your food because you're like, I guess I'll go starving then. That's just guilt tripping, either intentionally or unintentionally. That's just still guilt tripping. You should know that by now because people have guilt tripping for you before. You said people have done these horrible things to you. Why are you doing these horrible things to us now? Speaking of, you think your life is generally cursed because...
Right. Yeah, to be fair, Buddy's totally checked out. It would have been better to let him respond to each main point and ask him what he's planning to do to fix each thing. Yeah, also, it's like... It's funny for a bit to listen to what the fucking Birdie's all issues are. But also, it's funny to hear Birdie's responses because Birdie is a totally worthless wretch. So it's like, let's hear what Birdie's got to say about how useless they are. Come on. There's better content that way too.
You are not 100% catered to. That's what we're feeling like. As soon as something little goes wrong, you just start basically going downwards, basically. The fact, like I said, the fact that you walked up shows that you haven't grown, haven't changed. I'm grateful you're sitting down right now, but there's just so much that's been going on. And there's just a lot, like I said, that's been going on. And not everything has to be 100% catered toward. I give you resources to do things. I gave you opportunity, new other things. You have 10K, you can use it. This is an emergency. Use your money. Don't be afraid to dip into it. I understand you have trauma and stuff like that, but you just gotta try. You haven't tried. Instead, just take advantage of us. Or you go, oh, I guess I'll just miss my doctor's appointment. And I tell you, if I tell you on December 16th, I can't drive you to your doctor's appointment, I'm betting you're going to say, oh, I guess I won't go to my doctor's appointment then, instead of trying to do something about it. Instead of trying to go, oh, I guess I'll get an Uber or something like that, because you've used those kinds of things before. You've used those kinds of things with the food and stuff like that. You go, oh, I guess I won't eat then. Dude. Yeah, you should eat. That's priority. You tell us that you've been hungry your whole life. You should know what it means to be full, eat more, that kind of thing. Said you're not doing that. Said you're sinking yourself in a pit by your own thing, self-fulfilling prophecy. You say we're not helping you. You say that you're in a bad spot. You say you're doing this, this, this. You're focusing on the negative so much, and it's dragging you down. It's the mindset you're a self-fulfilling prophecy, and that is not a good thing.
Okay. So now, surely, hopefully, Birdie gets a little chance to respond to this. Surely Birdie gets to have a little comment back.
Continuing on, you say that we never help enough, and or we
next page
do everything for you and stuff like that. We make you food. Literally made you a trachete for 3 days, and then I drove you to appointments. I don't know if drove you around, but he drove you around a lot. And then I know they paid for food.
Also, this thing of like, we've done this, right? At some point, it's not like you've got to draw a line under it, right? You have also need to take some responsibility for enabling this, right? You have enabled this, and you can't get that time back. It's impossible to get that time back. So the best that you can possibly hope for is that you have a forward-thinking process where it's like, right, this is going to stop. You need to do something different, etc. Exactly. Like, you need to just stop doing it. So the better way to handle it would be, we've done this stuff for you, that's not happening anymore, and you've got to find your own way, or something along those lines, right? But just listing out all these things you've done, it just comes across that you've got all this resentment. You've got all this resentment off the back of you doing this stuff and it not, you know, and then not taking it seriously or whatever. Well, that's on you. You decided to fucking help this person, this total wretch out in the way that you did, you know? You should have cottoned on a lot more quickly. But what is likely is that you don't like this kind of confrontation thing. So you know, allowed it to happen. You got to take an L for that.
I never did, but still paid for your food. And then sometimes you got to get medicine. I think pretty sure ask you for $50 back for something like, you're like, yeah, I will do it. And you never did. And then with the prosecutor calls, we had to drive you places for the prosecutor. And then when you said, oh, I guess I won't do it for like Cynthia stuff, you go, oh, I guess I just won't do it or something. I don't know. It's too much for you. That's what you kind of made it seem like in my mind. The fact that I'm remembering, because I don't remember specific things. I just remember how I feel or others feel about that situation. You just were like, no, I'm tired of this, which understandable and fair. But still, you know, if it's that important, I'm keeping your cat. Literally, I'm helping you, but I don't know if I want to give you your cat back. We'll see. And then probably thought though.
Back. I'm homeless. Well, not homeless. I'm staying here like
even when you move.
I'm not saying I'm gonna take her when I go back.
You have the expectancy you'll ever get her back. That's what I'm meaning.
I mean, not really. It's like 50-50 for me.
I'm gonna go slam my head.
Not because of like. Sorry, I had brain fog all day. Go ahead. You can.
Yeah, no worries. Well, big worries. I helped you move away from Cynthia, I'm starting to regret moving you from Cynthia because I feel.
So it sounds like Birdie's not even that bothered about the cat then, from the sounds of it. Right? She doesn't even care that much about the fucking cat. You know. Yeah, but where's Squirp? Meow. Meow. Get the cat on the mic at once.
I feel like that could have been handled more privately, more professionally. I feel like that's what I feel like I should have just kind of left you there. Not left you, should have checked up on you, which is what I did. I did check up on you. Why do you think you're here now away from Cynthia? I'm glad you're...
Yeah, Queen was totally deranged with the cats. You know, she, of her own accord, decided to take this fucking cat, you know, off of Synnibear. It made an executive decision to take a cat that wasn't hers because she perceived that it was in a bad way or at risk or something, you know? Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm telling you, I've got this person marked. Their card is marked, okay? Obviously concerned with confrontation of a housemate, so bottle it all up, and then it all comes out in this, you know, confrontation, you know, rather than healthily dealing with your problems.
Away from Cynthia, but your actions are not being, you know, profitable. You're not helping yourself. You need to help yourself. We can't help someone who does not want help. We can't do everything for you like Cynthia's been doing everything for you. I have issues with her for that too as well. She's been babying you. And even then, before this whole situation, you were acting basically the same thing with your grandma and your grandpa. Because literally your grandma said in the I'm Back video, she said, you're burning your bridges. Basically said things that I would say, and you made her out to be the villain. I'm probably going to be the villain in your life because you think I am when I'm genuinely giving you criticisms. Any criticism thrown your way, you think, oh, she's a bad person, or they're a bad person, he's a bad person. You're thinking Jade's a bad person. You're thinking Cass is a bad person.
Yeah, living in a shared space is hard. You don't always get along. You have different idea for what is clean or acceptable, but having a conversation is all that's needed, and both sides have to talk. Yeah, exactly. You know? And you've got to find the right balance. Because the thing is, right? If you're like a super clean freak type person, you are never going to be able to convince some lazy slob to get to the same level as you. And if that's a problem, you need to find different living arrangements, right? Or you both need to find a compromise of what is acceptable for both of you that isn't complete slob fucking nonsense and isn't cleaning every surface to within an inch of its fucking life every fucking day, right? You know, that's what you need to find. And that's why you need to do this in a way that is... And it sounds ridiculous because Birdie is clearly a total fucking wretch. Right? Total fucking wretch. Okay? But you've got to approach this as, can we take like one step forward? Now, to be fair, you know, if they'd have had this... If this is like the fourth time they've had this conversation, I still think they're handling it badly, but I can at least understand it more. But I don't think that's happened. I haven't got new glasses. What do you mean? My glasses are the same as they always are. I've not changed them. I do need to go to the opticians though. It's been a while. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's like you do, you know, if this is like, unless you've done this conversation before, you should still handle it literally even then. You've got to take a different tack with this. You know, this is not going to be of any benefit to anyone.
You're 100% thinking I'm a bad person as well, probably. I don't even want to think of it. But yeah, you probably do right now. Or even forever now, if you ever do change. Because you said you changed, but you didn't.
Thank you. Keep the compliments coming, guys. Loving the compliments. Thank you. I'm in a great mood, guys. Great mood.
You, like I said, you don't do anything for yourself. Because I keep jumping around. God damn it. Like I said,
God, I keep jumping around.
You rely heavily on everyone else. While you said you want to be independent, you told us multiple times you want to be independent, and I've given you choices to let you be independent. I say, it's okay to take an Uber.
Johnny sexy with a BW. Okay, let's calm down. Let's relax. Let's relax,
do this.
guys.
Baby, do this. I gave you resources, and you're still not helping yourself.
Okay, dude, J-Stalk left a comment I saw in my Discord because apparently I was slandering him yesterday. Is it actually true that he sits on a fucking exercise ball and bounces up and down? Is that actually true?
all. You're instead laughing in your room, doing nothing. I know it's nighttime right now, but you could have done something all day. You could have done something yesterday. You could have done something the days before or something like that. You could have done something. You just kept sitting in your room doing nothing. And then I already talked about the waking up in time for the appointments that you need. You sometimes don't set up reminders. I know I said I was going to set a reminder, but the fact that you didn't set a reminder yourself kind of worries me as well. I know I should have said, oh, we'll set it for you. But usually the typical thing is, oh, I should set this myself, or oh, I'll keep this as a mental thing and stuff like that. Even when I dropped you off to the appointment, I found myself typing down what your appointment was instead of you writing it down yourself. I said, oh, maybe you should write it down.
I have it on the card.
Good.
The card's in my room.
Good. You just didn't show me that.
I told you I have the card.
The card, did it have December 16th on it?
Yeah, it just didn't have the other one for some reason.
You didn't tell me it had December 16th. I found out December 16th was a complete surprise to me.
I did. I said that I still had the other one written down, but not the December 3rd. Was it the 3rd? The December 3rd one. I did specify that.
Let me see. Hold on. I gotta pull that
Wait, sorry.
on yourself. I said, oh, maybe you should write it down.
I have it on the card.
Good.
The card's in my room.
Good. You just didn't show me that.
I told you I have the card.
The card,
card
did
for?
it have December 16th on it?
Yeah, it just didn't have the other one for some reason.
You didn't tell me it had December 16th. I found out December 16th was a complete surprise to me.
I did. I said that I still had the other.
Now, anytime JSTOR confronts someone, I just imagine him bouncing on his ball, and I just can't take that seriously. Yeah, it's been told that when he was confronting Amaranth's husband, he was bouncing extra high. He was bouncing extra hard on that particular day.
Other one written down, but not the December 3rd. Was it the 3rd? The December 3rd one. I did specify that.
Let me see. Hold on. I gotta pull that up. Because I might be crazy.
At least I said there's another December appointment on here, something like that.
I think I did. Well, okay. Jeez. Let's see. Okay, let me see.
Oh my god, dude. What is this? Where's your preparation for this confrontation?
Oh, yeah, you told me on 11/29 you're not at a place where you could afford to do that. You have 10K. Why'd you tell me that? Let's see. Dramatic. You say I'm not mad. I'm just being dramatic. You are mad at me. And then
What if he slips off the ball mid-combo? Then you hear a sort of crashing sound, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And then he has to get up. I don't fucking know, dude. The only recent JSTOR content I watched was him speaking to Amaranth's husband. Unfortunately. Well, to be honest with you, you'd probably be better off asking Queenman what happens during their joint jerk-off sessions watching porno, because it probably happens quite a lot there.
you kind of ignored me. Well, you wasn't mad, but it's hard to probably discern. You should be mad or something. That's the thing. You don't take things seriously. I don't even know if you're taking myself seriously as well, or if you're taking me seriously. Huh?
I'm listening.
You're listening, but is that the same as being serious about this? Are you going to change because I said this? I'm putting in the effort to help you change, to realize things. If someone told me, I got a lot of hate bombs for interacting with you on it, and then I realized why I was doing it, and I changed and grown as a person, and this is why I'm confronting you on now, these types of things, because you need these things. But are you going to change? Who freaking knows? We don't know. I don't know. I shouldn't have done that. This is a serious situation. But still, let's keep seeing. Oh, speaking of your phone, you told me lost it. Told me he didn't lose it. He even showed me the screenshots of him saying, I'll check and look. Why'd you say that lost it? Why are you planning blame on this is your phone, that's your responsibility. You should have said, I lost it. It probably is at house or your car or something like that. Instead, you pointed to saying, he lost it, he did it, blah, blah, blah. That's not omitting responsibility, something minor. But still, there's a lot of minor things that lead to one major thing.
Oh my god, dude. What? What is it? What is even the concern? Dude, that edit noise is too loud as well. That's not right. You should do something different to block out the names. What are they complaining about now? Something to do with the phone. Is that right? Dude, again, it's just an endless list. Does Birdie speak at any point in this fucking call? This is obscene.
You should have said I lost it. But still, you know, let's keep seeing. Also, you don't want to try to even get a new phone. You just say, it's complicated, don't want to do it, instead of trying it out. You could have said, at least, hey, could you help me at least get a phone? I understand I'm complaining about how much I'm helping you and stuff like that, but this is to the point. Maybe you should have asked me, hey, I can help. I know I promised you I can help, but you never set a specific time or date to be like, hey, could you come here and help me or something like that? Instead, we do other things, and you rely on me going, okay, let's help you. Or when I sit down and do it, you start like saying, okay, it's tiring, and then we do other things as well. Stuff like that. Or you should have just gotten a new phone. And then, let's see. No, we just started talking about the phone. You never told me that you had a December appointment. You just say, they didn't even write that date on the card to begin with, not saying that you had a December appointment at all. And so I was like, okay, cool.
I'm pretty sure I said it in person at least. I know that I did mention it.
You mentioned it after the hospital. Like after the whole thing came out, you were like, oh yeah, I had a second appointment going on. I was like, what the fuck? When did that happen? But then, yeah, going back to my whole thing, I personally think you scam people out of 10K. I personally think you did scam people out of 10K.
So this is the thing. It's not just about the kind of dynamic of the conversation, right? This is the kind of stuff, and I know that's not their intent for us to listen to this, but you would have kind of hoped that they'd maybe let Birdie speak a bit on this. Like, what's Birdie's perspective on this idea that they scammed 10K? You know, that is the kind of thing that we want to be hearing here. And then they're just going to fucking yap the whole way through.
Didn't need to ask for that much if you're not going to use it. Why do you ask for 10K if you're not going to use that 10K? This is emergency, like you said. You can use that 10K.
Okay. Ask us a question. Why did you ask for the 10K if you're not going to use that 10K? And then continues to fucking talk. Bro, let them answer the question. If you genuinely want to answer that question, ask the question and let them fucking answer it, dude. Holy fuck, dude.
Go get your POTS diagnosed. Go get a therapist. Go take Ubers to places and stuff like that when I'm busy. You know how busy I am. You've kept pointing out how busy I am, holding it up on my head. I'm busy and I can't drop things off the top of my head. Of course I'm going to be doing that. You're not busy on the other end. You're laughing in your room, doing nothing or sleeping all day. You can easily go get an Uber and do that. You say your phone's...
Bro, again, more bitter resentment. Dude, I get it. This person's a wretch. But why? This is totally pointless to bring this bitter resentment to this kind of interaction. What is the purpose of this? Just fucking berating them. I mean, it's somewhat funny it's the first, but now it's just like, okay, we get it. You're pissed off with them. But you're trying to, dig into this 10K a bit. And you're not even giving them a chance to fucking answer. Yeah, this Queen person is also some weird art community freak as well. Who also, took this person in. Obviously, I think it's just as, fucked in the head. In their own way, fucked in the head.
We're not working. Go get a new phone then. If you can't find your phone, we're trying our best to find it.
Thank you for the radar go.
Oh, I literally can't find it. I haven't told you I haven't found it in my car yet, but still, that's my mom calling. God dang it, Mom. Speaking of it, hold on, let me text her. You also made pay for money while you had...
Right. So we're skipping over the 10K thing, and now we're getting on to other misgivings in regards to the money that you're borrowing off other people. I mean, come on, dude.
Money, and you already, like I pointed out, had food, which I already pointed that out. You complained about the nurses about limiting your meds. You're suicidal. Of course they're going to limit your meds. Be self-aware. I tell you to be self-aware. You're not being self-aware. You said, I was in the past. What made you change? Being self-aware does not stop being self-aware. You told a lot of us that you would do it again, your suicide. You gave a mental breakdown and then you continue to blame her. You probably still blame her. You say that ghosted/dipped on you when she didn't. You could have easily texted her back or something and said you didn't confront her on ghosting part. You didn't even confirm with her if you ghosted. I seen the text. It's literally the last thing you said. Why would Jay need to text you back, especially with the group chat going on? And said you can just go into the DMs and be like, hey, how are you doing? You ask us to check up on you. You don't check up on us. You have a lot of suicide bait, which is what I'm talking about.
So we've gone from like questioning about the 10K to talking about them apparently borrowing money from people when they didn't need to. And now it's like onto suicide bait. When I thought they'd already spoken about the suicide stuff before, no? Is this a different suicide bait? I thought they'd previously spoken about that. And like, dude, this is making me feel bad for Birdie. I actually feel bad for Birdie in this. How the fuck are you supposed to respond to all of this? You are basically being given a big fucking dusty tome of fucking issues, big and small, put down in front of you. And it's like, right, respond to all that then. How are you supposed to do that? It's impossible. It's literally fucking impossible to respond. You can't even take it in. There's some sort of thing about the brain where you can only take... Okay, maybe I don't feel bad for Birdie. Okay, but you know, what I mean is like, it's clearly unreasonable to expect anyone, regardless of what a shitter they are, to meaningfully engage with how this is being presented to them. Even weird freaks, you would need to present in a certain way so that you don't have this fucking absurd yap sesh.
You talk crap about Jade to us, her best, like literally her besties, basically, and then you publicize your attempts for Twitter. Why? Why are you publicizing it? People screenshotted it. I know you did. While you were almost about to kill yourself over the stairs, you were typing happily on Twitter. You were happily going on Twitter. We were pissed at you for that as well. And then the fact that I had to stop you, I was sitting right on my bed. You were on the ground, pouring the pills out in front of me. You tried taking a photo, and I was like, what are you doing? You know, like, nothing, don't worry about it, something like that. And then you tried posting it on Twitter. Why do you think that's fine to your audience of 15-year-olds, 16, 17, minors? There's minors on your public account, and said you just blast it all out. Don't blame your PPE on this.
Right. And now we're on to, dude, the absolute rattle through of now we're talking about them having minors on their art account. It's just such a fucking wide range of various issues of different severity that is being presented. Scattergun. Boom, 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 boom. Holy fuck, dude. Yeah, I thought this confrontation was supposed to be about Birdie's behaviour as a housemate. Why is her speech formatted like a Google document going over every single negative aspect of her character? Because Queen, I think, is also some art commentary retard who has got the same brain-poisoned way of dealing with life as these other people do. That you handle like this sort of thing via like a Google Doc perspective of listing out every possible issue that you've got. Rather than just, you know, have a conversation like normal people do, where you talk backwards and forwards and try and figure out the best way forward. You agree certain principles of behaviour and then you move on with your fucking day. ACC Spurg brain, yes, exactly. I mean, just thinking about this, yeah, I can't even remember most of the points that, you know, I am, you know, obviously, as always, a bit distracted. I like to be a bit distracted always, keep you on your toes. But I can't even remember half the shit that she's spoken about here. So what hope does fucking Birdie have if she does have some of these fucking mental issues too?
APD only makes you more willing to do something where you don't have a lot of willingness to hold yourself in. You act on your impulses, basically. And that means you've always wanted to do that. That basically kind of shows that you wanted to do that. I've told you about things that you shouldn't do, and then you grumpily sit off still, and I basically had to fight for you for that kind of thing. And then you told me you think of suicide 24/7. That's why we're not going to tell you things. Otherwise, you're going to dump out pills, stuff like that, which is why we're telling you things now, because you're not dumping out pills right now. But I don't know what's going to happen afterwards. We'll see how it happens afterwards, if it's going to make you so bad you want to kill yourself or something.
I mean, for the record, I do agree with some of this. Like,
So?
There are some that, like, you weren't there for the context.
Right. So Queen is saying, like, obviously, if you know, you're always presenting things from your side, right? You could be 100% correct on everything that you're saying and everything that you're presenting, but the other party is unlikely to just go, "Yep, I agree with all of your various petty to serious grievances about me." There's always going to be some level of pushback or disagreement, right? Like, you've got, dude, this is why you need to have conversations about this stuff, because then you can establish where your disagreements are, hash it out, and then come to some sort of resolution and move forward. Beckett, I don't think is actually involved in this one, which is rare, I know. But I don't know if Beckett is actually involved in this.
Like how you keep victimizing everyone on your YouTube video and everything. You don't say anything about, I watched your On Back video. I'm still halfway done because I was literally genuinely so frustrated. I have 3 hours of recording about that because I was like, I'm going to record this to see my reaction. 3 hours, 4 hours, I think, 3 to 4 hours with just, oh, I'm going to go, and we're only an hour in. 4 hours to an hour in. We were fed up with you. Me decided to watch your I'm Back
Bro,
video.
okay. You get those fucking loud sounds, dude. Just fucking bleep it out like normal or reduce the volume. Why? It's like every fucking you know, couple of minutes in your ear. Well, the reason she says it was recorded is because she thought Birdie would get violent and she was trying to make sure that didn't happen or have proof if it did, basically.
And we were fed up with how much you've just been pushing everything aside, victim blaming, and not taking responsibility. You're blaming Draggy, who's a 13-year-old. Going back to Draggy again, because there's more. You don't admit to it. Instead, you're calling Draggy a...
I started writing something for myself where I admit that I was wrong in that situation.
Well, you didn't tell us this. How were we supposed to know? We can't read minds.
I started yesterday.
I started
and
yesterday.
I didn't think you would care because you're mad at me.
Do you want to... I'm telling you why I'm mad at you.
Yeah, so I didn't think you would care if I did something like that.
Then why didn't you take things seriously then? Why didn't you tell me things? I thought you were trying not to hide things from us or something like that. You see how your actions are affecting us as well? You use those exact same excuses. You're in the same boat as we are, and you're not understanding things. Instead, you're getting pissed. I understand why you're keeping those things from me, because I am mad. I am. I'm not going to hold that above your head. Maybe I will. We'll see about that. Speaking of honesty, you're using the same excuses I use as well. Yeah, and I'm admitting to some of those excuses, but because I'm mad, you're not showing me things for something like that, because you're mad. Yesterday, should have known this from basically the start. Draggy was 13.
What was that? What was that?
For something like that, because you're mad. Yesterday.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Notice
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Confronting someone this way is not being afraid of them. Just as much BS as when Birdie was in danger staying with Synny.
Thank you, Sister Godiva, for the super chats. Yeah, sure. I mean, obviously, it's ridiculous to claim that you're afraid of some violent outburst. This is the way you decide to confront them, in a way that would potentially provoke violence, a violent outburst.
Start. Draggy was 13. You were 16. That's worse than an age gap than Kitty Dog. And you know that, and you blame Kitty Dog for it. And
Right. So now they're trying to press them on some weird relationship nonce thing that happened. Why are you bringing that up? What has that got to do with anything? See, I was like, okay, it's unreasonable to expect to bring up all the past, but they're doing just that. They're bringing up things that just, you know, what, okay. Obviously, I think that's fucking weird. I can't remember what it was. There's some weird shit Birdie did or something, right? With that, I think. But why are you bringing that up? Why are you making that, like, an issue in the course of your discussion in regards to a fucking house disagreement about living together?
and everything. What Kitty Dog did was horrible and stuff like that. But you don't tell us to go after her and stuff like that. Instead, you're telling us to go after the
Someone
person.
said it earlier, it's like the Google Doc. It's like they got a Google Doc of all of their controversies they've ever had. And are just one by one going through them in order to, you know, challenge them on each one. You don't need to do that, dude. Like, it's not your fucking place to do that. You're not their fucking parent or therapist. Or, like, just fucking sort out your house stuff and go about your day, bro.
13-year-old and that the 13-year-old had a grooming thing that you would think you were manipulated by the 13-year-old. Anyway, I'm glad if you're going to start changing now. I'm really glad that you are changing, but I'm too mad to realize that right now. So I'm going to say that I am glad that you're admitting, because better late than never, I suppose, but you've hurt so many people in the processes of being okay.
I've been coming to terms with that as well.
Yeah, yeah, you should. Speaking of responsibility, which you said you're taking responsibility for Draggie's fault, we'll see how that goes with your new video, if you're posting that out, whenever you can.
I'm still mulling it over, I'm still processing it.
Yeah.
Because I need to, like, never mind, sorry, my brain fog, I can't think today.
Okay. Dude, actually reasonable from Birdie. Actually completely fucking reasonable to say that in this particular circumstance. Because yeah, of course, you've just had fucking 30 minutes of this moron unloading on you.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
You can see the exact moment Birdie employs tactics to surgically and critically destroy Queen's arguments. BTFO.
Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for that. Yeah. Dude, bad brain fog. Yes, you should have brain fog with this. There isn't a single person that could actually deal with this. This is impossible to contend with. You cannot meaningfully engage with this. And of course, you're going to be a bit confused and a bit uncertain in what you're saying because you're having to process so much fucking rapid information that is coming your way.
Okay. Don't blame that. And then, speaking of nudes, you have child porn.
Yes! Okay. I wonder what recipe they were cooking, but it looks like they're putting a little ingredient that I like. Yes, let's fucking go. What the fuck, dude? Just ask it outright like that. Do you? Do you have... Just wait.
Today.
Okay. Don't blame that. And then, speaking of nudes, you have child porn. Do you have child porn?
What are you talking about?
When you were younger, people sent you nudes? You sent people's nudes, stuff like that, from what I've heard.
We were the same ages, and I didn't save any of them. They actually saved them and posted them on Kiwi Farms and stuff.
I don't even know what Kiwi Farms is.
We were both like, me and that person were both like 15. I never saved any of them. I actually deleted all of mine as soon as we broke up, but they saved all of them.
Oh my god, dude. Also, dude, I don't think that would be on... Kiwi Farms does not allow the posting of that kind of material. Kiwi Farms is a pretty wide allowance of what's allowed on there, but that sort of stuff is obviously not allowed because it's against the fucking law. And I don't know if I believe this necessarily.
Okay, that's wonderful.
This person's a freak.
But how do I make
don't know.
money off depressed people?
I haven't been keeping up with Birdie/Synny. Which animal did Birdie sexually assault this time?
None as far as we know. Thank you very much. That one octopus and super chat. What do I think about this? I don't know, dude. The thing is like, the reality is, there is a absolutely rotten culture around this stuff, where people now think it's acceptable at younger ages to do this sort of thing. And I'm just like, no, that is not something that, you know, teenagers should be participating in. Obviously, you are committing a crime. You probably wouldn't get in legal trouble for it if it was like 2 teenagers or whatever, but you're still technically committing a crime. And you just don't know what's going to happen with that material. You know? Like, you don't need to do that. That's not necessary. I think people that are older should be a bit more careful about sending that sort of material, you know? Hold a bit back. Hold a little bit back, you know? But anyway, yeah, dude, what a crazy fucking turn in the conversation.
Okay.
I wouldn't do something like that now. I was 15.
Okay.
I wouldn't do that.
I know. Right now. But still. You got mad at me. You blamed me for missing your appointment last week when I completely forgot about it, which was, yes, my fault. I will admit to that, stuff like that. But you got mad saying, why didn't you wake me up when, yeah, you should have also known that was your appointment because we literally have that down as well and stuff like that. You should have had that written down as well and said you missed it. I think I even told you the night before, hey, you got an appointment.
So we've gone from confronting them about accusations that they potentially got CSAM material, and now we're back to missing appointments. Like, have a fucking order here, man. Have an order of severity of what you want to go through. Right? Like, dude. Oh, what about your appointments, though? Tell me more about these appointments.
An important appointment the night before, and then you completely forgot about that. You said you wanted to be independent. Yeah. You told us you can't interact with fan art for like that 15-year-old stuff like that. I know a lot of people draw fan art of you and stuff like that. But as soon as you found out that kid was 15, instead of owning up to it, saying that was my fault, I should not have looked at it, you said went. Stop making this weird. I didn't privately DM them.
Right there.
Yeah.
There are a few misunderstandings with that.
So basically, this dude, this is about that. That's that artwork that always freaks me out. Chud, can you please beef with Real Smith again? I would like to see someone online asking why he lost his job at a middle school. Bro, I'm sorry, but Smith is like in the rearview mirror, man. Smith is like, who even is fucking Smith anymore, dude? Does he even fucking still make content? That does sound funny, but I mean, he's just like a worthless wretch, isn't he? I don't know. He's like nothing. He's like a totally insignificant, creator.
And I do still, that was a big mistake that I made, reacting so defensively, which is why I decided to take a break from social media and why I'm continuing to do that, because I realized I'm not stable enough to run a public account at the...
He's just like a weirdo. He's like, all of the Mr. Girl offshoots are total weirdo freaks. There isn't a normal one amongst them, which, you can kind of understand, I guess. But yeah, dude, he's a total freak, dude. Dude, I remember the first time I found out about him was when he went on Mr. Girl's phone-in show, and he did this thing where he was in pumpkin mulch or something, and he was doing this primordial birthing from pumpkin juice or some crazy. It was just fucking ridiculous, dude. It was like, what is this guy's problem? Sorry, I know him IRL. Wait, I know him IRL and didn't know he made content until recently. I think it would be funny for me and IRLs personally. Wait, is that not common knowledge? Wait a second. Have you just sort of quasi-doxed him by saying a personal piece of information about his in real life thing? It could just be a shitter, a troll. Okay, don't take it as read. All right. Bro, even if that's true, dude, that's way too much. That would have to be something that was publicized on the internet for me to even look at. Okay? That needs to be out there for me to even touch. Because I can't be, Dude, I can't be mocking people just for the purpose of pleasing the IRL people that know them. Anyway, good luck to you. If it ever comes out and it's knocking about, maybe I'll get to it. But
that I'm at mentally right now, and I realized that I was getting defensive at this person, and I still did not check their profile. I thought they were I assumed that they were 16 or 17 because I'm yeah, my audience is 16 plus.
This is, I think, a lie.
Okay, that's
I'm pretty
wonderful.
sure this is
but
about
how do
bullshit.
I make money off depressed people?
I'll give Birdie one thing, and that's that everyone who ever confronts her acts like they're Saint Peter at the fucking pearly gates, reaching back to stuff that's not even relevant anymore.
Thank you for the $10. Gears. I think it's because these people, you need to have a narrow focus no matter what you're doing. And I think these people want to, I don't know. I mean, it's so weird because they're claiming that they recorded this because they were worried about getting attacked, suggesting it was never something that was going to be publicly released. But the way that they're confronting them seems to be with like an unseen audience in mind. Like they want to do a good job of confronting them on all these misdeeds that they've done. So I think it is probable that they wanted this video to come out at some point. Hence why they're doing this, you know, long list of every bad thing they've ever done sort of situation. It's because they're mad at her. This is how moronic young women act when they're pissed at their friends. Yeah, but bringing up a bunch of online shit, I don't know, man. I don't think that's the case. I think that there's an unseen audience here. She wants this to come out. So all this thing of like, oh, it's because I might get attacked. No, I think you're recording this because maybe you might want to eventually use it to your advantage. You know? Yeah, I'm gonna be getting an exercise ball for my next few streams. Don't worry, guys.
But even then, that kind of thing, that's an 18+ thing. Self-harm, about the thing, that's an 18. Did you just say I didn't know?
Yeah.
That's not true, I don't think, to be fair.
I only found out until I saw like posts about it on Twitter. And then I realized I fucked up because I didn't even check, and I was getting like all defensive over something really stupid, and I did make a mistake, and I should have checked their profile because they were obsessively making fan art of me, and I didn't think, oh, this is weird. I was just like, oh, it's fan art, I have to comment on it.
Fair enough, but I'm talking about how that stuff, how your entire account, some of your really cute art, yeah, definitely should be, but Seth's Deadly Sin characters, which is 100% 18+, you admitted it to as well. I remember you also admitting it to me as well, saying that, oh, I should probably make some of these 18. Instead, you drew very extreme, like literally almost sex, just literally, what's his name again? June, groping.
Another thing, I was the same age as those characters when I drew that stuff.
No, I'm talking about now. This is like now recently. Like this is new Seth. This is new Juno.
My age. Like I aged up the character.
But still, I'm talking about your audience who watches those stuffs, looks at those stuffs. You have very sexual things that belong on an 18+ page. Your My Little Pony, really cute. Your derpy stuff, but you posted on there, 100% good. That's good for any ages.
I feel like I've heard this part.
But your Seth Deadly Sin characters you posted about.
I mean, it's just, you know, it's pretty undeniable that yes, if you're doing weird porno art, you should have it as 18+. What is the fucking point of having it 16+? It's so stupid.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Imagine Chud bouncing on it crazy style, whilst moaning.
Thank you. Thank you, Dofo Show, for the $5. Thank you. You guys are total sickos. You guys are total sickos. But yeah, I mean, if I recall correctly, I think that there's evidence of Birdie interacting with this person who is 15, or defending the fact that they interacted with them on the basis that it wasn't that bad. And the artwork was like this utterly absurd, weird, quasi-pornographic self-harm artwork. Obviously totally inappropriate for a 15-year-old to be looking at, let alone engaging with the artist on. And yeah, it's just kind of just indefensible shit. Just have it as 18+ if you want to do your weird self-harm art. Why? Why does a 15-year-old need to see that? And why do you need to fucking interact with them? Off the back of it too.
Your extremely hypersexual character you've posted about on stuff, bad. No, keep that away from kids at this point, especially with how gray that area. Just make it 18+. If you think it's gray, making 18+. Basically kind of make that black and white separation. 18+, that's fine.
I do actually think that's a good idea. I don't like having minors in my audience in the first place, so I definitely should just mark everything as 18+. I'll have to mull that over though, because that's like, I'm gonna have to worry about that later, because I can't even think about social media right now. I have to focus on other stuff.
Yeah, but people want change now too as well.
There are other.
It was an insane request. Honestly, I expected you to actually read it out loud. Wow. Always expect the unexpected with me. But I want to clarify, he's not a buddy, he's an IRL lolcow. So, are you... Okay, obviously this is difficult because I can't just take it from a chat message necessarily, but I will do just as a little bit of fun. You're telling me that you know Smith in real life and he's known as like a total freak in real life, is that correct? I'm going to assume that's true because it's funny.
Other things that are priorities right now, like
That's
calling
based.
the apartment, checking the emails. I don't know what else. I haven't been able to think today, but I have been trying to prioritize other things.
Also, I mean, look, that snippet of the call was 6 minutes here, and I still think the mulling it over thing is a bit dumb, but I can at least understand why they're like not. Like, bro, they've been berated with various different grievances for like half an hour. Of course. Of course. That's, you know, of course they're not going to be able to necessarily come up with the best possible solutions.
Because I know that if I focused on the internet right now, I would spiral, and I know that I do not need to do that right now.
Then you shouldn't even be on the internet. You shouldn't. At that point, just don't be on the internet anymore. Stop being on the internet. Find a job. Get your GED. You have money. 10K to serve you through. Stuff like that. Get your GED or something. It's just because you have disabilities doesn't mean you can't do it. You just don't want to do it. There's a difference. Because there's a lot of people out in the world who have disabilities worse than yours too. I'm not going to say that they're worse. Everyone's worse and stuff like that. It's just that you can do it.
Bro, no, this is fucking coke, dude. If you have had both your legs amputated in a car accident, that is, you know, that is a worse physical disability than POTS that you got to apparently be in a wheelchair for. Like, it's okay, it's fine to accept that there's worse disabilities out there. That fucking Pakistani incest-baited kid, that's a worse disability than whatever the fuck Birdie's got. Well, that's not too far off, to be honest.
Don't want to, and it's becoming too late. That's the thing. There's sometimes time limits to things. When you start doing things and stuff like that, there's just basically time limits where people just break their psyche. You told me that we're breaking your psyche. You're also breaking all of our psyches because you're doing everything where you just sometimes can't come back from it. This part right here is getting so bad where you just literally can't come back from this.
Pakistani incest kid. Can we get a translation for the anti-racist in chat? Not even racist. That is a factual statement. Okay? That is the racial or ethnic identity of the individual. Okay? They were born from incest and they're a kid. That is a factual statement.
Well, that makes total sense then. These bed blobs are possibly products of rampant inbreeding.
Thank you, Slender, for the $5. God, you libtards are so quick to jump to racism. Oh, these blacks seem a bit overrepresented. Oh, bit of a racist statement. Maybe translate. Oh, there's a Pakistani incest kid. Oh, a bit racist. No, factual. Go and look at it.
You're basically worse than Synny. You are becoming worse than Synny. You realize too late. Stuff like that for too many things. Even then, I don't know how to believe your words because you said that gaslighting is fun to me. You said that you can pretend to do things. How can I trust your word? You've lied to us so many times
Let me
that I
stop
can't.
you right there with that one too. I only meant in the context of like, I don't think you understood properly because it's not something that people do like as a joke. But I'll be like, oh yeah, this. Did you know that? Let me think of an example. Do you know that James Corden was in SpongeBob? That's what I was talking about. I do not try to intentionally lie to people. And I know that I've lied to you, and I'm still processing that. Yesterday, I realized that I'm wrong, and I'm starting to process it. But the process is a process, and I'm doing one thing at a time, and again, my brain fog today, I can barely form sentences, but like, go ahead.
You were having happily fun on Discord right there and then. Before any of this happened, I was listening to you laughing off over there.
Yeah.
And just having fun, which I understand it is okay to laugh off and stuff like that. And I understand it's...
Okay. Dude, I cannot believe that the way this... I want to defend Birdie. Like, dude, yeah. I'm sure they're a total wretch that sits in their fucking room all day and laughs and stuff. You have made this impossible for them to engage with. This is on you. This is your fault. If you'd have handled this better, you would have far better grounds to make this kind of criticism. but you've just absolutely bombarded them with a variety of issues. And of course they're going to be shutting down. To be honest, I'm surprised Birdie hasn't fucking walked off.
Fine to do that kind of stuff.
Discussing with that person the things I've had revelations about.
Yeah, cool. Great. Yeah, but it's becoming too late. You've said all these things to us, and now you're just finally realizing the gravity of your situation. Did someone tell you your actions, how bad it was? Why does it take someone else to tell you how bad your actions are sometimes? Which I understand. I should not be making that as a thing, because sometimes it is. Sometimes someone needs to tell you. But the thing is that you've gone through these types of situations before. You should have known better. You've had people manipulate you. You got pissed at the same things that we're getting pissed at you for. And yet here you are making some excuses for some things and stuff like that. And you've even admitted right now that you have lied to me. Of course, I'm not going to take you very seriously for those kinds of stuff. I literally heard you talk about your mom right then and there. But then again, I didn't hear the whole conversation.
Wait.
So.
Oh, we were talking about, like, it wasn't anything serious. It was just, like, my mom talks really weird. She says, like, yo and, like, daddy-o all the time.
Yeah, I remember you said that to me. But still, it's just bad. Because, like, serious conversations need to have serious topics, stuff like that.
That wasn't a serious
Yo, daddy-o.
conversation.
You told me that it was a serious conversation. Well, you didn't say it in your words.
We've been talking about really serious stuff. But, like, we just decided, like, why don't we watch something tonight and then we can keep talking tomorrow and stuff.
That's fair enough. That is fair enough. Yeah, I already talked to you about Squirt. Don't think you will ever probably get Squirt back. So keep that in your mind. And I know you killed yourself over Squirt. I'm hoping you do not. I really don't. But you said that you weren't going to kill yourself, so I'm...
I mean, obviously Birdie is a total, like, suicide baiting freak, so sure. I'm sure that it's all fucking bullshit, right? But the way that they said that. You said you're going to kill you. Hopefully you won't. Hopefully you won't kill yourself over this Squirt thing. I mean, to be honest, Birdie doesn't really sound like they care that much anyway, you know? I mean, Birdie, you know, is in no position to look after a cat, and they don't really seem like they care that much anyway, so what does it fucking matter? Also, it's, well, I don't know if the name has changed at this point. This is December 2024, but obviously the cat got renamed to Latte before Synnibear got it back.
Taking your words seriously. You said you're not going to kill yourself. I'm going to say this right here and then. You're probably, high likely, not going to get Squirt. Anyway, you've been disrespecting a lot of people. You've been disrespecting.
Oh my God, that noise, dude.
So many people, which I can't remember. Draggy as well. The fact that you have to get completely hated on.
Yeah, can we give a real take about the naming thing, right? Squirp is actually quite a fun, different, and nice name. I quite like the name Squirp because it's a bit different. Latte is the most basic bitch cat name you could imagine, right? It's the kind of thing some white woman would come up with for their cat. Some normie white woman would come up with. Squirp is much better, you know? And listen, Synnibear may be a total nonce, but they can come up with a good fucking name for a cat, that's for sure.
For you to realize that your problems were a problem, you basically, you're walking around in front of his parents in his underwear, which I understand that, you don't even understand that. Like, I don't think you do this in front of anyone's parents. You don't walk out into the public with just your underwear. You don't walk out in front of just random people's parents, just your underwear. You told Lauren that you were uncomfortable with going in through her fridge, but yet you were fine and dandy going through his house in an underwear, down the stairs with ramen, and then when you get food, you go back up and hide in the stairs, stuff like that. And we have to basically be like, hey, you want to hang out before you go out and actually hang out with us and stuff like that, because you go, I'm bored or something like that. And then
this was to do with basically Birdie is not house trained, essentially is the best way to put it, and they would like walk around the house without any pants on so you could see like their underwear, and as they obviously are like apparently a trans man, which, you know, I'm not sure where the trans part is, to be honest. It sounds like they just look and present, it sounds like they try to present themselves in a more masculine fashion, But I'm not sure whether trans butt actually comes in if they're even on any sort of treatment. But yeah, they just, I'm guessing it's like male underwear, boxing shorts type briefs or whatever. I don't fucking know. But apparently this is what they were walking around the house with when there was other people knocking about. You know? Yeah. With a big packing bulge, yeah. Those little weird fake cocks that you can buy from the internet now for trans people. I think it is called a packer, I believe. It's like a little rubber penis that you just put in your underwear to make it look like you've got a cock. Oh, and I'm pretty sure it comes in different sizes. Including all the way up to BBC. BBC size is also there.
Kept the lights on all night with so she couldn't sleep, but that's just being very inconsiderate of others. You've been inconsiderate of so many people.
Though. I know we came to an agreement about the lights, but I genuinely...
Yes, I know you're going to make gawk jokes or whatever, right? But the reality is, when you're in with the progressives, right, they sit you down in a chamber, prick your eyes open with fucking matchsticks, and they force you to watch hours upon hours of pro-trans propaganda, and it explains it all there.
Which doesn't hold above your head, but the fact that she was mainly mentioning the lamp, which I can't speak for.
Oh, the lamp. I thought you meant the room lights, because I did used to sleep with room lights on. Never mind.
Yeah, but still, that even with situation, because that's with and stuff like that, I can't talk for her. You're just being inconsiderate of so many people, being disrespecting so many people, and I remember I was like, oh, we're turning on the big lights, and you're like, yeah, I have dispersive flares, which is basically like not gaslighting. That's just, what's that word again? Guilt tripping, basically. That's the amount of guilt trip, like little guilt trips start piling up to big guilt trips. You've guilt tripped us about so many things. That's saying like big things where we have to panic and start doing things from you. And you've had experiences where your suicidal attempts were just for show, so you can make the other person do something for you.
Oh.
And then you stopped when I called the cops.
Wait, let's hear more about that.
Yeah. Don't know if you stopped because I called the cops or did.
What does that look like exactly? Like scraping up your arm with a knife, pretending you're cutting yourself or something. Like that, dude, I need to know. What do these fake suicide attempts look like? Putting a rope round your neck and being like, oh no, I'm strangling myself. But it's not really tied to anything.
Did you stop because you realized that was fucked up? And it could either be both. It really could be.
What's the fork incident? That's.
And then
what's that?
You continue to ask others to spend money before spending your own. Like, you asked me for $5.
Okay,
I understand that you were out of $5, but you...
Money.
Hey, some nerdy stitches. Thank you very much for the Prime sub. Appreciate that. Thank you. Let's go.
could have immediately went to do that solution because I was like, oh,
I did. I said that, like, I didn't communicate it, but I was like, just in case I can't get it over, because I don't know if I can with this phone, but I'm going to try, and I tried, and I got it to work.
Yeah, you should have done that first before asking me for the $5 bill. And then showed me I can't do this. Then I would have tried my best to help you.
Okay, that's
but
wonderful.
instead, you asked me for the $5 first, which is super inconsiderate. And
do you think Birdie gave good D to these people? Well, Birdie hasn't got a D to give to anyone. I don't believe that Birdie has even taken hormones, let alone got to the step of creating a, you know, a fucking, a kind of grotesque body horror flesh cock from, you know, skin from the arm to crudely craft into a penile-shaped, you know, implement that then gets attached to your crotch. I don't think that's happened. Can we be honest, right? I know we talk about neo-vaginas a lot here. Right? We don't spend nearly enough time talking about the absolute monstrosity of like trans man penis. Right? It's like honestly absurd to think that this is something that wasn't like progressives push this absurd thing. They literally take skin from your arm normally or from your leg, right? I've met someone in real life that's got this, by the way. Not for any sort of weird sexual encounter before you fucking start with your gawk jokes, okay? They were the roommate of someone I was seeing a little while ago, right? And their arm was all like fucked up and scarred. And I was like, oh, right, that's what it is. And then they basically take this flesh and they kind of just like, I don't know how to describe it. They basically like roll it up like a burrito, as far as I can tell, and then they just stitch that onto your groin. I'm sure it's probably a bit more complex than that, the actual medical aspect of it. But yeah, they just form a fleshy tube with skin from your arm and stick it on your crotch and call it a day.
Which is what Cass is saying is super inconsiderate. I personally was like, okay, cool, but I found that pissy. I was getting upset myself too because I was like, oh, speaking of masking, you act like you're okay, and yet sometimes when you think you're acting like you're okay, I think I'm going insane. Like you just sitting here, just being, I guess, normal. That's not a good word for that. You are listening, which is fair.
This is me processing things.
Yes, also, I think this is true as well. They have to pump it up like a balloon if they want to simulate an erection. So I don't know where it goes, if it hangs down or they put it in their pocket or something like that. But if if they're in the moment, it's like, and it takes about 10 minutes. I'm making this up as I go along until you get to the adequate, erectile level, adequate simulated erectile level, and then do whatever you need to do. There are also some stories of it falling off mid-coitus as well. So you end up with some woman who thinks they're in with some fella doesn't you can always tell, but doesn't know it's dark. They end up with a massive fucking flesh tube shoved up. I'm making that up. I don't even know if that's true, bro. I just made it up. Totally made that up. No idea if that's true. And then basically you got to hold your nose and go really hard like that, and it just blows out like a torpedo. What the fuck? Oh.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
She should have invested in Chud stonks instead. Dilator emoji.
Thank you for the $10, Jason Coward. Appreciate it. If I do end up creating a limited company, do you promise not to dox me and not look me up? Okay. Promise not to do it, and I will, because then it'll be funny. Because I can call myself like a director, and then you can ask what I do. And I can be like, I'll come up with elaborate ideas about trans men's cocks. That's basically the thrust of what I do, excuse the pun. I can have like a business card, a nice little business card made, and hand it over to people. What industry are you in? And then I can, go into whatever.
Also, again, I keep mentioning the brain fog. It's actually impairing me at this point, but I don't know, I can't form sentences, but I'm listening and it's going in my brain, just know that. I'm listening. I'm hearing the words. They're going in my head.
Okay. And then about the pretending and masking, you have your little resentment quips. You've told me about them, how you've did all that for those kinds of things, and that you were building it up. Why not just say it right when you're angry or something like that? Instead, you're like,
okay, what is this?
The opinion of the entire staff that Dexter is criminally insane.
Okay. What is this?
That boy needs therapy. Psychosomatic. That boy needs therapy.
Dude, isn't this content idea, isn't it? Bro, I hate their art style. I feel like I've seen this before. I'll watch it after. Is there any? Am I gonna get fucking flashbanged with some sort? There's some sort of weird baby drawing. What the fuck is that thing? Why have all these artists got such weird fucking art styles, dude? It's insane.
I was just building up, I was just masking, I was just pretending. Why are you pretending? That breaks my trust, and that's why I can't believe you for most of you things, because you say you're going to do this, and then you just don't do it. Those kinds of things. And then you said that you weren't going to kill yourself with the cops, and then you haven't, which I'm very happy, but it's just too coincidental for those kinds of things. Like I said, there's just a lot of things in your past that you've repeated, and we're wondering what are you repeating behind closed doors, because we're not in your closest inner circle. We're on the outer circle. What do you have in your inner circle that you want to hide? Why'd you kick us out of that group chat? What are you trying to hide? When I said that was a wrong move for you to kick us out of the Rhine, go to Guatemala, that was the wrongest move ever. Why did you kick us out? You could have just made a new group chat for those things. Instead of you decided to go, you know what, boot you out. Why'd you do that?
Dude, you're really... Group chat, bro. Who cares about fucking group chat drama, dude? Who fucking cares about some stupid group chat shit? Oh my god, dude. Oh, okay. I'm glad that this Queen person is getting criticised for this. Because they deserve it.
Oh, wait, was that hypothetical or an actual question?
Actual question, why did you do that?
Let me try to remember. Sorry, give me 1 second.
Are you just coming up with an excuse at this point? Are you just coming up with an excuse at this point? It typically does not take people that long to remember.
Oh, I was done. I was waiting for you.
Oh.
Sorry.
I should have said something. That was my fault. But I guess that was your fault because I can't read minds. Anyway, continue on.
My train of thought. Fuck. I'm so sorry. I'm not usually like this. Oh, yeah, there was something about... I felt like continuing to argue would do more damage than I've already done, and I decided the friendships are beyond repair at this point. I don't want to make things worse. I don't want to hurt people worse. I don't want to keep arguing. I didn't know what else I should have done. I should have said something, obviously, but I need to work on my impulse control. But my intentions were, I don't want to hurt you guys anymore, so I'm trying to keep my distance now.
Mute. Make a new group chat. Boom. Done and simple. Make a new group chat without complain about us. Something like that. It says you decided to kick us out, and you haven't added us back. Instead of being like, I'm sorry.
We still have DMs. I didn't know you would have wanted another group chat.
No, I'm saying add us back to Ryan to go to Guatemala.
Bro, this is so trivial, bro.
Why do you still want to go back?
If you want to make a new group chat, you can, but why are you keeping me from going inside the Rhines to go to Guatemala?
Oh my god, no one cares about your fucking gay group chat shit. Why are you fucking talking about group chat? I thought the whole point of this was about the living situation and how fucking obnoxious and shitty they are to live with and they never clean up after themselves.
I mean, I don't care. What? I'm not hiding anything.
Then why are you asking me, why do I want to go back to Guatemala?
I genuinely want to understand why. Like, I thought...
Because...
Well, you know, if anything, Birdie's age is something of a mitigating factor in their role in this. They're 20. This Queen person, I'm pretty sure, is like 30 years old, right? And the thing is, when I originally came into this, I thought it was supposed to be a confrontation that was about their living circumstances. And so I thought it was a bit unreasonable to expect Queen to press on all these other issues, right? But now, I think so. I could be, well, I don't want to say that with certainty because now you're making me doubt myself. Now you're making me doubt myself. Mid-20s, okay. I take the L. I think the mid-20s. I think I got it wrong. Even so, mid-20s. I mean, come on. But even so, 30 is apparently incorrect, okay? Mid-20s. I got it wrong.
I was trying to say, I was literally just saying, like, it feels like things are beyond repair at this point, and I want to stop doing damage. And I need to work on myself while I'm away from you guys.
And you're so grateful that you're not working with... Because
dude, that sound, bro.
I'll keep repeating that for those kinds of things. But still, I told you, I was like, that was a wrong move and stuff like that. I even said that you said, we'll see, but I'm not here to argue with Cass. That is not arguing you. That is you, what's the right word? Being wrong. You being in the wrong and you just double downing. You being in the wrong and just double downing. I'm showing you proof and said you kick us out. Instead of saying, hey, I'm not going to talk anymore, and just mute the group chat and leave. Not even leave the group chat. You don't have to leave. Instead, you could have just, you could have just left the group chat yourself. Instead, you've done that before. You've left group chats when you get upset at things. Why did you kick us out instead? You could have just left yourself. Instead, you kicked us out.
Wait, sorry, was that rhetorical or?
That was the question. Oh, instead of leaving yourself, why'd you kick us out?
I felt like you guys, like, I think, yeah, it's the same thing I said before. I didn't want to keep doing any more damage. I felt like if the conversation continued, I would say something I regretted, and that was just the first thing my mind went to. And again, I need to work on my impulse control. I didn't come to that conclusion at
Yeah, I was going to say, because I came into this thinking this is supposed to be a confrontation about the personal living circumstances. So I am not going to, you know, it's like I don't really expect Queen to get into all of the ins and outs of their prior behaviour. It's just about the living circumstances. But they are doing that. And they are touching on certain issues. Because I think they want this call eventually to be released. Because they want it to, you know, they want to have this confrontation that people see of them, you know, taking down Birdie or something. But, yeah, they don't really do a good job of it. And there's some things which I don't know the ins and outs of, because I don't know every single aspect of Birdie's behaviour. But the stuff with the miner and the artwork, I'm pretty sure was bullshit. And they've not really pressed them on that. They've kind of let that slide. So it's just kind of worthless. So I understand more so now why she's saying this here. You know, I didn't fully know of Jack's past, only snippets. Even now, I have many missing contexts surrounding Jack, which is why I didn't bring up much of Jack's past, and only what is mainly done to us. Because at first I thought, why would it be expected that you bring that up if it's about a housing issue confrontation? But obviously it's more than that. They're trying to get in all this background information about them, but they don't really know enough to press them when they're lying. So it's kind of just pointless and worthless.
That time quite yet.
Then why are you being so defensive? Sorry to interject, but why are you being so defensive with me saying, just add us back?
I thought, like,
dude, why is it so fucking loud, bro?
With me? Or like not even in like, oh, you guys are done with me, but like, haven't I done enough damage? Like, why do you still try to care about me?
I'm going to go slam my head into a fucking wall at this point. What do you think? Why do you still care? Why do you still care?
Dude, this person has got like a screw loose, bro. Dude, this person is nutty as well. What are they saying here? Dude, they're like deranged. Like Shelbo-esque.
Sorry to interject.
I thought, like, aren't you guys like done with me? Or like not even in like, oh, you guys are done with me, but like, haven't I done enough damage? Like, why do you still try to care about me?
I'm going to go slam my head into a fucking wall at this point. What do you think? Why do you still care? Why do you still care about me? What do you...
I genuinely just don't understand why,
Because that's who we are as people. We're trying to make sure you're not helpless. And then here you are saying, you don't help me enough. You don't do this, you don't do that. Sometimes I'm trying to prove you wrong. And here you are proving me right a lot of times. I still care about you. I've never said to you in person that I was done. I said I was...
I still care about you. Me... Well, you're secretly recording this conversation because you're worried they're going to attack you. And then eventually this call gets leaked publicly. Come on, dude. How is it that I'm listening to this call and I'm more fucking annoyed with Queen than Birdie? Birdie is the fucking useless wretch of this conversation, apparently. But it's Queen that is the more annoying and repulsive individual in this interaction to me.
I was about to be done. You're breaking me and my limits. But whoever is telling you I'm officially done with you is wrong. I say I'm about to, depending on what you're doing, but it sounds like you have incriminating things in that group chat that you don't want us to see.
Well, no, the thing is, okay, keep in mind Queen and her friends are still somewhat friendly until with Synny. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah. Because even this explanation here saying, in case it went violent or horribly wrong, well, based on what I'm hearing, unless something changes, it's not going to go violent or horribly wrong. So you just delete it because the purpose that you were trying to protect yourself against didn't happen. So you just delete the call and leave it at that. But no, you keep it, presumably send it to other people, and then eventually it leaks.
I mean, I can add you back if you want to be added back.
I would love to be added back, but
if it's still a friendship, what even is this at this point?
don't even know at this point. You don't even need to add me back. But I'd love to be added back. But I don't care at this point. I understand you're confused why I'm asking to be added back. But you didn't even answer my question on why. What even was the question beforehand? It was something, because I know it's not the why did you kick us out, because you answered that. It was basically, why didn't I
leave myself?
Yeah.
It was.
You've done that before.
It was an impulsive response.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I
And
make
what-
money off depressed people?
Didn't realize
Hey!
RFK transitioned. Guess the estrogen doesn't seem to fix the voice.
Bungus, thank you very much for the $5.
To process in my brain, I'm trying to unpack all of my behaviors that I let things get too out of hand, because every time a traumatic situation happens, I just turn into an asshole, and I have to unlearn that every time, and I'm trying to unlearn it. I'm trying to unlearn it again. I am trying. I just don't want to hurt people around me right now. I don't think it's good to be talking to you guys right now in the state that I'm in. I should have realized that sooner, but yeah.
The fact that you've also said you keep repeating it over and over and over again, at this point, you just need to go into inpatient care. At this point, you just need to go see physical help. Just be like, it's gone way too much. This is a repeating pattern over and over and over again. Go to inpatient care. Literally go to the ER and being like, I'm going to go into patient care. Please help me. If you realize that you need help, the nurses are giving you help.
Chud, your chat is siding with Birdie. Well, I'm not surprised that that's happening. And also, I've covered other Birdie stuff, and everyone has had the correct take about it, that Birdie is a fucking useless bed blob wretch. But the way they've dealt with this call is terrible. So, of course, people are going to like be a bit more inclined to, well, not side with Birdie, that's not the right way of putting it, but be reasonable to recognise that anyone in this situation would find it difficult to respond and engage with the way that Queen is handling this. Or, yes, fantasy, exactly. You can hold two simultaneous thoughts in your head at the same time. That is possible. You can simultaneously think, damn, Birdie is a useless bed blob wretch. And you can also think, damn, the way Queen is handling this makes it pretty much impossible for anyone to actually navigate this conversation in a reasonable way from the other side. There we go. That's the solution. That's the solution.
If you need me to drop you off tonight or something like that, I can drop you off at the ER tonight so you can go to inpatient care. You can think of that. Go to inpatient care. Try that out. They'll help you.
Well, the thing is like, I think Birdie is just like a lazy wretch, bed blob freak. And a lot of their issues are overstated, right? But then it does, you know, I'm feeling very fair today. It then does get to another serious point of, if someone is so lazy that they're detrimenting their own life to this level, is that indicative of some other disorder or some other illness? Because it obviously isn't right that you live your life in this perpetual, you know, childhood-esque state where you are detrimenting yourself by not behaving and acting correctly, you know? So it's like, I think they're a wretch, and I don't fucking care what happens to them. But if you genuinely were in their life, like, you need to address that more fundamental issue, like, you know, and that you can't necessarily fix it, but what you can do is agree some basic principles of behaviour that they should adhere to early on, and then you try and help them in whatever way you can live to that, and you don't enable them either. So you don't do things like take them to their appointments. You're very firm about saying, you need to Uber, you need to get a bus, whatever it is, you need to manage that and handle it yourself, you know? Business Chud is a very fair person. I'm always fair. I like being fair. Queen confirms in this call that Birdie's POTS is undiagnosed, but they both run with the fact it's diagnosed, and later Birdie hints at another disorder she self-diagnosed. All these people have got these wretched self-diagnosed conditions to make excuses for being lazy fuckers, dude. So stupid. I think that Finian Lobar guy is some sort of weird troll. I don't know, they keep spurging out, pretending to be a lefty or something.
They'll make sure you're medicated for you to regulate these responses. Instead, you rely on your trauma to do things. I'm pointing things out to Jade. Jade's super, not misogynist. What's the word?
Misogynist.
Not misogynist. It's the word where women hate men or people just hate men. Because she has trauma for that, and she's literally now she's gone through her trauma and she doesn't hate all men anymore for those kinds of things because she's realizing a pattern. I'm pointing out.
Took the stop hate. What is it? Needs to take the men hating pills. What's that? I can't remember the fucking meme.
And she's a lot more understanding. I understand. You realize that we're a lot more to bite off than you can chew. Then you know this. Go seek more professional help. A therapist is not going to cut because you're just going to go back into your house and be all by yourself again. You need to go into inpatient care at this point. Try it out or something at this point because you're hurting too many relationships. Because like your grandma said, you burned your bridges. You're burning your bridges even now. This is a repeated offense. You didn't cut me.
That's why I'm confused as to why you still want to talk to me.
Because I want you to at least change before I dip and leave.
Okay, I will. Like, I try. I mean, I'm trying now. Do you believe me?
I'm slowly believing you. Like I said, you're lucky to be dealing with me instead of those two.
I know it seems convenient that I just started reflecting. Fuck, this is the first time I've cried in months. So yeah, something is...
Oh my god, dude. Okay, right. I'm starting to... Yeah. Birdie's starting to irritate me with this fake crying shit for sympathy points. Dude, it's like just immediately turning on the waterworks to fucking try and circumvent this difficult situation. Oh, God. Ugh!
Really different with me. I realized something about myself that it changes a lot. I'm sorry.
You're good.
I realized I lined up behaviors in my head, and I thought, why this isn't something a normal person would do. Normal people don't have these thought processes. What's going on? And so
get a job, loser. Get a fucking job.
I'm not gonna tell you what disorder it is, but I have another mental disorder that I match all of the criteria, and it's like it's one of those evil abuser disorders, and it just I need that.
I'm gonna take a drink of water.
That drilled it into my head, okay?
Don't drill it into your head.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Hey! Spark Rizzle. Thank you for the super chat. The disorder's MPD he diagnosed himself with. Narcissistic personality disorder. Oh my god, dude. Don't act the ace of spades. Leave the ace of spades alone.
Two wretched freaks squabbling over trivial matters, when both have probably committed crimes against humanity.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for the prime sub. Yes, the ace of spades could have fucking censored this better, okay? Let's get over ourselves. Come on.
Huh? I said that's what made me drill into my head that I need to focus on what I'm doing. I need to make changes. I found that out yesterday. I looked it up yesterday.
Okay. Anyway, sorry, dude. We're missing important. This is an important part.
All of the criteria, and it's like it's one of those, and I thought, why this isn't something a normal person would do. Normal people don't have these thought processes. What's going on? And so I tried to look into it, and I'm not going to tell you what disorder it is, but I have another mental disorder that I match all of the criteria, and it's like it's one of those evil abuser disorders, and it just I need that.
I'm gonna take a drink of water.
That drilled it into my head, okay?
Don't drill it into your head.
Huh? I said that's what made me drill into my head that I need to focus on what I'm doing. I need to make changes.
Dude, this is so, and this is like a little. We're peeking in through the window to the insanity of the online world of the self-diagnosis stuff, right? What these people do is they go on the internet and they look at disorders and they look at the symptoms and they tick themselves off. They go, I've got that, I've got that, I've got that, I've got that, right? That is the issue. That's the issue with all of this. You cannot diagnose yourself with a fucking psychiatric disorder by looking at some symptoms online. It's not possible, right? Psychiatry is a soft science anyway, so it's not, you know, there's a lot up in the air with it. But at the very least, you need to go and see a fucking psychiatrist because they will do an assessment. You can't. These online tests that you can do are all bullshit as well. They don't make any fucking sense. They don't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense because the problem is there are ways and means that people that assess those tests, they look at it and they look for things like, for example, is their score too high? Because sometimes people will give answers that they think that they want to be heard, and then it gives you a really high score, and you think, oh, well, I've got it then. But then a professional might look at that and go, okay, well, you've got like 100 out of 100. That's not really indicative of like this condition. It seems very odd that you've got like in totality every single thing going to get 100 points. You know, it's just this this absurd, yeah, like, yes, exactly, holistic approach, exactly. You can't do this. This doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense. It's complete fucking fabrication. I've already done a fucking autism test online and I came back as negative. I came back as about as least as autistic as you can get, actually.
I found that out yesterday. I looked it up yesterday.
Okay.
I'm not going to use it as an excuse because I don't even want to say like what it is. Like, I haven't been telling people.
Dude, spade is not a slur, right? I accidentally called a spade earlier, and then I said ace of spades as a fucking joke playing on that. How is that a fucking slur? But bro, what, you fucking racist when you're playing poker? Ace of spades. Oh, bit racist, watch out. Dude, in a certain context, yeah, sure, perhaps. Like saying someone is as black as the ace of spades. That's like a racialized thing. But not just saying the ace of spades, dude.
Like, I told them, but that's because, like, I asked if I could talk to them. Sorry. Dude, I literally haven't cried in months. I don't know what this is. It's, like I said, something changed. Something changed in my head yesterday.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Chud, we had bright futures for people like this. We turned them into diamonds. We turned the filth of humanity, and turned them into beautiful stones.
Okay.
The future is bright.
Can we just, thank you, an Austrian painter. Great to see you, thank you for that, but, obviously disavow.
It's okay if you don't believe me, because I keep going back and forth. Oh, I can handle this, and then I can't. Oh, I can do this, and then I'm lying.
So I'm right and you're wrong?
Yeah.
Cool, good to know.
I told you something. Everything changed yesterday.
Could have at least told me that. I would have been sure. Because the thing is that...
Do you want me to talk with you about it? I'm sorry. I get confused about this stuff.
I don't know if I can handle this by myself, or kind of like that. I think generally you need to be in inpatient care if you're realizing you're that bad, like not that bad as in like bad guy, but like if your disorders are that bad, then yes, inpatient care.
Yes,
I
lock them
understand you
away.
have trauma with it. I understand, but you can at least give it a try. Try out new inpatient cares. There's always going to be a good inpatient care or a bad inpatient care. There's always going to be both, those kinds of things. Just like how there's good people, bad people, great people. There's also in-betweens as well. So, that's up to you at that point. I think I will. I don't even know. I'm going to go talk. We're going to figure things out. Do you want to talk in private, or do you want to talk? Or have you had your heart set on things?
Okay,
feel
that's
like
wonderful. But how do I
like
make
my
money
trust has
off
been
depressed people?
broken.
So actual slurs like the R word and the L. What's the L word? Thank you for the super chats.
I don't think like I can live with you anymore.
I understand. I'm gonna call the apartment on Monday.
And I was hoping you could like
Lesbian.
get a hotel for the time being.
Yeah.
Just like for while you're waiting to hear back from the apartment, and then Like, I can give you all your stuff now, or we can give you...
Probably not now. It's
Probably
way too
gonna
late.
wait, because I would be in a hotel.
That's... If I could just get the keys. I can't do
Okay, that's
this.
wonderful.
It's
But
very
how do I make
overwhelming.
money off depressed people?
She's a bloke, so maybe she can bunk with Shelbo in the psych ward, waking up to violent witchcraft repellent rituals perform on her holes.
Thank you to Super Chat. That's actually a good question. Where do you put a trans man? What prison do you put a trans man in? Because it's like, bro. Once the other male prisoners know that that man has got a snatch, it's going to be... Oh, man. Oh, let's just say it's going to get very rough very quickly for that individual. Thank you for the Super Chats.
A lot of stuff, and I'm sorry to do this to you because
It's
I'm
okay.
very overwhelmed right now, but it's just...
I know, you guys are too. I know. It's okay.
I just don't want to be a part of anything.
It's okay. You don't have to be. I was about to say, it's okay if you guys don't want to talk to me ever again, or if you don't want to see me anymore. It's okay.
I have a feeling you are going to go hip hip hooray to that. Personally, I don't know if you're purposely guilt tripping me or personally not.
Dude, I haven't cried in like, I don't know how long, but like that was real. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't want to do that even. Like, I'm trying not to.
So you know that you're worse than Cindy at this point. Okay, let me repeat myself. So you do know you're being worse than Cindy at this point, right?
In what way?
Everything way. You're not owning up responsibility. You're just now owning up responsibility. Cindy's long since been owning up to responsibilities. You remember how you said, I don't believe Cindy when she says this stuff? This is me to you. How does that feel? Now you're in the same situation that Cindy is. Do you realize, do you sympathize with her? Do you realize this is what Cindy felt?
Right. Hang on a minute. This is December. Wait, what? Synnibear got, like, fucked big time because...
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Thank you, Metalworks, for the Super Chat. The reason... Dude, this is like, so ridiculous to be doing this, like, Synnibear comparison. Right? Synnibear could tremendously cancelled, whatever you want to call it, because they'd had completely unacceptable sexualized conversations with someone that was 14, right? Like, it was about as justified as criticism as you can imagine, you know? Like, bro, what?
Cindy's long since been owning up to responsibilities. Okay, let me repeat myself. So you do know you're being worse than Cindy at this point, right?
In what way?
Everything way. You're not owning up responsibility. You're just now owning up responsibility. Cindy's long since been owning up to responsibilities. You remember how you said, I don't believe Cindy when she says this stuff? This is me to you. How does that feel? Now you're in the same situation that Cindy is. Do you realize, do you sympathize with her? Do you realize this is what Cindy felt?
What's the purpose of, like, bringing Cindy into this? I mean, Birdie, you could argue, did some shitty things towards Cindy, but it's just, like, so worthless. I don't get that. Why they're doing
She's trying to change. Something like that. What are you going to do at that hotel? Get an apartment? What next? What next? Are you going to get your GED? You're going to just decorate your room? You've been buying derpy plushies this entire time instead of buying food, instead of buying things. I understand you're very, very attached. You could buy the derpy plushies alongside food. I wouldn't judge you for the derpy plushies, but I'm judging the fact that you're saying, oh, I want to save money while you're buying derpy plushies. What? Priorities. Where's your priorities? Instead, you're prioritizing on derpy instead of food.
Explain something?
Go ahead.
The reason I started...
So this is all related to the fact they were buying derpy plushies off the back of money they got from art commissions when they've just fundraised $10,000 to move away from Synnibear. Obviously, you know, absolutely obscenely retarded financial decision making. Like, your merch budget, if you're in this situation, should obviously be $0. You should not be spending any money on plushies.
scared to spend money is because I impulse bought all of those things, and like I said, I'm going to work on my impulses. So that
Shelbo 10. Dude, I covered a bit of Shelbo yesterday, but the only notable thing that he's done is upload a picture of himself naked. So there's not really much that I can show with that, you know? We did speak about it briefly and laugh about it yesterday, though.
that's a mistake on my part, and I am going to spend my money to get the hotel, get the apartment. I'm going to do that now because everything changed yesterday. I want you to know I'm being real about that.
So, so your priority is, oh, I regret buying derpy plushies. Let me just not eat. Let me just not eat to save up money instead. Let me just do this instead of doing all this. Eat. That's how your pots are getting worse. That's how everything is getting worse. Why do you think you're feeling so shitty? Because you're not eating properly. I don't feel shitty because I eat properly. Not many people feel shitty because they're eating properly. Feeling shitty because she's not also eating properly. Now she's feeling a little bit more better, a little bit, depending on the situation with stuff like that. But you are able to at least help feel a lot more better if you're full on food. You don't know how to take care of yourself. That's the thing. Instead of going to a hotel, go to inpatient care. Go to the ER. Say, I need inpatient care.
I don't know if the diet has been revealed, but yeah, basically, you know, she's like just she's like a perpetual child, basically. You know, growing up in the art commentary community, apparently had an abusive family, got knocked about from pillar to post with various family members, then moved in with Synnibear, who turned out to be a groomer. And yeah, now here they are in this household. They've got like arrested development. And I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know what the solution is for people like this. Well, the abusive family thing was overstated, I think. But what is the solution for someone that's like this? I genuinely don't know what even the correct way forward is. Like, it's like they need to get like fucked over with life to hopefully learn and move forward. You know. Don't say death things.
That you're going to throw yourself into the wilderness for
the molesting a ferret. Yeah, loads of crazy stuff.
God knows what, and try sticking on your own, and then you're just probably going to kill yourself maybe, even though you said you're not going to kill yourself, something like that. Or maybe go live with your aunt instead in Washington, who said she will. Why aren't you doing that instead? You told me that, oh, my aunt wants to live. I understand you don't want to, but if you're in your worst case scenario, go live with her instead. Those kinds of things. Priorities. I'm gonna drink water again. Working on
what is the whispering? I don't get the whispering part. Why are they whispering at time? Why are they doing that and saying priorities, and then talking about drinking water? What is that about? Notice that Birdie wants validation from the parents she accused of abuse for turning off the Wi-Fi and accused them of SA for making her take showers when she'd go without for months. Yeah, I do not buy a lot of the stuff that they were talking about in regards to the parents. Obviously, having covered it prior, and then the Lord Cross video that we watched also made that clear.
And working on that.
Yeah, I'm working on myself.
Good. That's not a bad thing.
I know.
That's good.
I want you to know I'm not being sarcastic, because like my voice is pretty flat. I'm just like that. Sorry.
I know you're like that. I know you're like that on a lot of things. Because I've been talking to.
Oh my god, dude,
and
stop! My ears are getting tortured.
That makes sense as well. I'm gonna say something that wanted me to tell you this.
Wait. I'm sorry. Don't say anything. I'm sorry. I'm so done with him, dude. Do not say anything.
Okay.
You're not gonna believe me, but he was so fucking mean to me all the time. He was literally emotionally abusing me, and I was mean to him back. I admit that. I did wrongs in that situation too, but I do not want to hear from him ever again.
Okay.
That is my boundary. I don't want to hear from him again.
Okay. So you don't want to hear about the Vinny part. So what do you hate about him, at least?
I don't know. I'd have to think about it for a while, because I I ended that whole thing like 2 years ago, I think. I would have to think about it for a while, because my brain is, yeah.
Okay.
It would just, I would have to prepare for a conversation like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that would make sense. But can I at least say this one thing? I mean, then again, if you don't want to talk about it, I'm not going to force you to talk about it.
As long as it's not anything from him, it might be fine. I don't know.
Okay.
Who's
and
the
then I'll talk
Maryland
about the situation with the 13-year-old, 16-year-old. You say that you you say...
Right, so now they're bringing up the 13, 16-year-old thing again. But they don't really know enough about it to really press them on this. I mean, the reality is, it's like, if they're stood in the room together, I think this is just fun.
Do you still think that 13-year-old manipulated you when you were 16?
No. Like I said, I've been writing a document. Trying to, like, I wrote a document.
Do you think the 13-year-old manipulated you? Do you think the 13-year-old manipulated you? I mean... What is the point of this? Unless the problem with this is, unless you've got like an ace in the hole, not an ace of spades. We don't want to be racist after all. Unless you've got something in the back pocket to press on this point, like they're just going to say no, and that's going to be the end of it, you know. And I can't remember the ins and outs of the 16, 13-year-old thing, but it just seems a bit worthless at this point. And if you do want to press them on stuff, there's probably other shit that you could probably get into, you know. What's
Okay,
that
that's
song?
wonderful.
That's racist
but how
now.
do I make money off depressed people?
The abuser is Refix, Maryland guy, who gave Jack a place to live and who Jack threatened to kill for not DMing him enough.
Thank you, Spark Rizzle, for the $5.
Accountability for that situation.
Okay. So at least you're growing on that. What about your siblings, your grandma? I'm not saying that your parents were bad or anything like that, but what about
I still
your...
talk to them.
You still talk to them, yet you say that you've been so horribly abused by them. You said that you've been sexually abused by them. You say that they're in a cult. You say that...
They started acting nice to me after they kicked me out. And like, I've craved that validation for like... Sorry, I've craved that validation for my whole life, so I can't give that up.
Okay.
I need validation from my parents. I didn't have it as a kid, and they're giving it to me now, and I couldn't cut them off. I tried, but I can't. They're being too nice, I just can't.
Okay. I guess that's fair. Yet you shame them online for everything like that, which is fair and right, but yet you are refusing to cut them off.
I did cut them off at one point, but I don't even remember what happened. I know I blocked them both at one point. It might have been because I needed to see my siblings or something, but I really do need that validation from them.
Okay.
We've talked about things in depth. Me and my mom have talked about things in depth. That was last year. You weren't even, like, you didn't know me then.
No, I did not.
Things with my parents have been talked about already.
If you do want to make things up truly for people, I recommend at least maybe some people want to be reached out to, some people don't, but that's all up to you, and I understand.
Yeah, so
you need to heal.
I'm assuming, you know, that was in relation to, I guess, claims about getting abused by the parents. Is that right? What again? I'm just going to repeat. Birdie wants in contact with the siblings she abused. Yeah, dude, they're so, dude. All these like art commentary freaks. There's always about 20 different strands of insane drama of varying degrees of human atrocity. So I can't even fucking remember what the abuse thing was. But yeah.
Grow from this kind of stuff, and you need to stop making up excuses.
Yes.
Yes. So definitely show that those kinds of things. I'm hoping you do, and I want to see you grow for my own confirmation. I want to see you be able to do things. I want to keep in touch to know if you've changed or if you're just keeping the same. That's why I'm also sticking with you as well. I'm starting to realize my feelings over the situation. I want to stick around to see if you do change or not, but not in the same way as I was before. Those kinds of things. I want you to see if you have changed, and it's also good to keep a critic around you for those kinds of things. I'm not hating you. I'm giving you reasonable criticisms. Do you think they're reasonable?
There's some big things happening in ACC right now with another freak named Doodle Diapers sweeping for groomers and weaseling them back into the community with children. Oh yeah, someone linked me a video about that. What's going on with that? Doodle Diapers is a crazy name as well. If you don't want to sound like a pedo, right? That is literally the worst possible name to call yourself. Or they're called Doodle Tones and you made that up. Okay. Yeah, I might maybe get to that at some point. But yeah, I don't know, man. Beckett. I hear Beckett's name.
Everything I've said was one of them.
I said a lot of them.
Oh, a lot of them. So if you think these are great criticisms, then you can keep me around. I keep my critics around me. I haven't blocked anyone on Twitter. I have not. I've gotten very few hate, like maybe 1 or 2 comments on hate. But also, everyone that genuinely, like, guess, quote unquote, hated me, they were being critics, and when I changed, they started being nicer. That's called growing as a person for those kinds of things. You do realize why people can't associate with you anymore, because you've been a bad person and you're not changing. You say you are now. That's why I want to keep around with you, to see if you actually have changed. But I'm not going to be around with you as much as I am now. But in your head, I was never probably as close as a friend as you think I was, or as I think I was to you. Because you have so many closer friends on the internet for those kinds of things.
I did take you guys for granted.
Yes.
I did.
Yes. I know he wants to say his piece, but I don't know what he wants to say. So that's up to him.
Thank you, Gore. Beckett got dusted. Who's that in reference to? I wonder. Beckett? Dude, normally when, you know... I mean, that is right up Beckett's street, isn't it? I bet he's doing a stream later about the Doodle Tone stuff.
And if he wants to contact you or anything, I'll tell him to contact you if you're willing to listen to criticisms, especially how to grow as a person. You can probably even call as well, or something like that. Who knows what you two both want to do, because can keep ignoring you. And
bro, Beckett's going to do a stream on it, and then he's going to talk to every person involved, and then he's going to talk to all the people one step removed, and then he's going to do a 3-hour video on it. That's what Beckett's going to do. That is Beckett's standard operating procedures right there. So yeah, I'm gonna watch the Minecraft bodycam stuff after this. I think I fancy a quick GOK tent palette cleanser though. So I think I've got a quick Lily Contino thing to look at too. Bit of trans tent. We'll have a bit of deranged trans tent, don't we?
Stay or change. And I do want to be around with you to see if you have changed or if you're falling back to your same habits again. That's why I want to be... Because that's...
Dude, it's like... The longer ones, it's got like a more fucking insane thing. It's blah, blah, blah. It's like a bigger sound. Why? Why is it so loud? Why did he make the fucking sensor sound though? You don't need to make it so loud. Just put it to 0 or put a little bleep. That's enough.
That's now I'm curious. What are you hiding in there that you think is so bad that I gotta kick out or something like that?
Like, I don't have a problem with adding you back.
And then you can add me back.
Like after you leave, I can add you back and then like do the other stuff with the hotel.
Okay. But how are you gonna get to a hotel?
Uber, like you've been saying.
Okay, good. That is good, at least. Good. Good. You can have fun with that.
Dude, it's like this, right? It's like this. Sorry, okay. Watch your headphones, guys. Anyway, guys, I was talking to. That's what it's like. That's what it's like, bro.
I'm going to...
It's too much.
Talk outside? Well, Jack, thinks about this? Or something like that. I would love to be added back to Ryan Go to Guatemala if you show that you're not hiding anything personally.
Yeah, I can add you back, like, right now. It's fine. It's just been me and my friend talking about this whole thing, and also, like joking about, like, what were we talking about?
It's okay.
Sorry.
Go ahead. So why haven't you added me back? Oh, okay. I don't even know what to say. Thank you for adding me back.
Yeah, I hated that you guys were right about me, and I was defiant against everything you guys said, because I thought, if they're telling me to do something, then I don't want to do it. I have to tell myself to do it. Mm-hmm. And that was all subconscious, but that came to the forefront of my mind yesterday. So I'm telling myself what I need to do, and I'm looking at things from a different perspective.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good at least. Especially if you added me back to the group chat.
I have to ask, though, just because you're in contact with those people, do you intend on screenshotting anything? I don't believe you would.
See, this is why I wanted to hear Birdie speak more, because Birdie's such a wretched specimen doing this, like, you know, like, what is it? What's the right word? Yeah, the ass kissing. Yeah, like this, like, wretched ass kissing to try and placate or please Queen.
I want to ask.
I will not, especially, but if you do change...
It's not because I'm worried about things getting out. It's just that goes against my self-improvement. If people are going to be like bashing me for things, that's going to make it harder. And I really am trying, which I'm saying that because I don't want to be held back from trying to get better. Like, I've been holding myself back this whole time.
I will say that, and I will give you one more chance. People will be angry at me. I will say it on Twitter. I'll be like, I'm not going to send any screenshots because Jack says when it gets better.
Okay.
But if you do slip and you make a mistake, I might start doing things again.
It's okay. Just communicate with me about my mistakes, and this time I will listen. And if I don't, then it's up to me to tell myself, you need to listen. You can't wait for someone else to tell you that.
Okay.
I have a question though. Why are you posting about it on Twitter?
Because you've been doing all these things and you've been keeping it hidden from the public. Like with the Squirt situation, how you lied about things. And so it came out with Cynthia's whole thing, and Cynthia posted a video, now a whole hate mob came up against you and stuff like that. You gotta realize that sometimes, since you are an internet person, you gotta share some things to the internet, otherwise people are gonna speculate about things to you. And people were expecting you to change, and now they're starting to point out inconsistencies. And then when I realized that, I'm like, hey, here's some evidence that he hasn't changed. Of course I'm going to do that. I expect you to do the same if we have the reverse was yours.
You weren't here for this timeline in my life, but I did genuinely start improving around 2021. I was making massive strides, and I was doing really good. And then somewhere down the line, I fell back into a pit, and I don't know what happened, and I don't remember when it was. Like, I still have to figure that out, where things went wrong, but I fell back into the pit, and I have to get out, because I did it before. I can do it again. I have to make it long term. Yeah. But I have changed before, but I fall back into old habits, and I have to stop doing that. I want you to know I've been good before.
Okay.
I didn't lie about the fact that I changed. I didn't realize that I fell back into that pit after I was saying that. Because like you said, no self-awareness. I didn't realize how bad it was. Okay.
So then you should understand why some people, like the internet, do deserve to know who you are, especially when you've been posting about a lot of things for that kind of stuff.
With my comeback video, I was honest about it. I laid everything out that I thought was okay in my mind, and I'm doing the same this time, except I'm elaborating on the draggy situation, because although they are like obsessed with internet drama and sadistic, they were still a kid during that time.
And they're still a kid now.
Yes.
So
And
you
that's
gotta
what
understand.
The draggy's
Yeah.
a 13-year-old, right?
And
I lose track.
In the doc, I'm making more points because I'm thinking more deeply about the situation because like the last
that's
time I
wonderful.
revisited
But
it
how do I
was
make
when I made
money?
Hey, the Dofo
Modern day
Show!
equivalent of a debate between Plato and Socrates.
Thank you for the $5.
and that was a different time.
then do you want to share that doc to me? I will not share it to the world. I promise you that. That's fair. And I
Do
can,
you want it?
I mean, I would gladly give you some pointers, maybe even will too, to piss at you right now for all those kinds of stuff. So it's understandable why she did that. So I'm pretty sure would love to ask this question. What do you think of right now?
I don't know. Like, I'm not mad at her anymore.
Not mad? Do you blame her actions?
No.
Okay, cool.
'Cause I've done the same thing before.
Okay, good to know. But guess would probably love to give you pointers.
It's happening
I'll say
again,
on the
dude.
internet, I did confront you. I did say everything. Jack says he's going to improve. I'm going
Wait,
to
it's
believe
not
his words
working.
right now. So I'm going
No,
to back off. No
my
more Jack
bits.
things. I know you guys will hate me for this kind of stuff, but I'm going to give him, myself, a chance. And then I will, if you even try slipping, that's when I'll start, not blasting you, but I will be like, hey, he's not changing right now. He's
Okay,
slipping
that's
again.
wonderful.
I will point it
But
out
how
to
do I
you
make
first. If
money
you don't try.
Hey!
Chud, remember when you gave crap for calling Dick as a detective yesterday with that call, and now you're complacent with Queen being cop? Apologize.
What are you on about? I've been like criticizing this Queen person all fucking cool. What are you on about? Are you just trying to wind me up? Is it just a very basic attempt to say something that isn't true just to piss me off? Is that your fucking goal now? Thanks for the super chat though. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Changing it
I got what
first.
it is.
Yeah, I will point it to you first, but if you deny it, I'm going to, one denial, that's it.
Okay.
And then if you say the same excuses again, that's basically it. You've shown that you've slipped up, and then you say you're trying to make change, and then you slip, and then you try to make change, and then at this point, you just need to go into inpatient care. No more online. No more connecting with Al. I've heard horrible things about Al. The fact that you're glorifying self-harm on even your 18-plus server, on your 18-plus account is morbidly disgusting. I think you should start healing on your self-harming. That is not fun. That is not sexual. That is nothing.
Done it in like,
I know. I'm talking about still on your art.
I stopped drawing it too. Like, I stopped self-harming and I stopped drawing it at the same time. And I actually did cut off Al for a really long time period because I realized they were enabling me, and we had a conversation about it.
Okay, that's good. At least is Al.
They were enabling me.
Yeah.
That is true. But we talked about it, and they realized it was wrong, and we moved on.
Okay. Yeah.
Oi, Toastify.
But
how's it
if you
going?
do slip up one.
Oh, by the way, Toastify, your name has been bandied about. Okay, I don't know what you're up to with your life at the moment, but people are saying that you're the chosen one, and you've got to be the person to make the actual takedown video on Cameron, because there's no one else that's capable or interested. Just so you know, mate. Hope you're well anyway.
More
And
time
I
and
still
go
did
back.
not take down the art. I didn't think to do that because I got back into that headspace where I cannot run a public account.
Dude, I was watching Queeman's segment about it, and it was about the FPS Diesel thing. And I understand a bit more about the FPS Diesel stuff having watched his stream. But the thing is, it's so many layers deep. Right? Toastify. Can you make an easy video for me to react to and leech off you? Thank you. Get to it. Come on. But the thing is it's so many steps in that you need to be that unless you're super invested in it and interested in it, it's very difficult to really get into, So if you've been watching, Queeman autistically hyperfixate on the Cameron drama for a week, then obviously, yeah, you're gonna probably like that. But yeah. Yes, it needs to be like a video, succinct video going over it really. That's the best way to do it, I think. Chud commissioning videos, but not even offering videos. You get paid in cloud. Offering payment. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. There's going to be no payment, dude. Absolutely not. No way. Dude, they're going to make a bit of that. They're going to make a few cents on AdSense. What's the problem? Hey, come on.
And I will not come back until I know that I'm ready.
I don't think you'll ever be ready if you're able to slip up more than once, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At this point,
Yes, that is a really good point. The fact it's associated with Yandere dev is a problem too. Because Yandere dev falls into the category of like ultra hyper-fixated, terminally online, retard lolcalsberg drama. And the association to that, I think, makes people be a bit put off. Like it's adjacent to that drama, isn't it? Literally trying to sabotage Toastify, but dude, Stiko, you're so negative about it, man. You don't see the vision. There is something there. There's a story there. But it's just, you know, a bunch of shit.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Can you do the Wolverine thing again with the coffee stirrers? We can hear you fidgeting with them.
I don't actually have the coffee stirrers, it's this. Like some sort of lid, some sort of plastic lid. That's why I'm fiddling with it, guys. That's what I'm fiddling with.
I think you should focus on getting your GED. Try also, once you finish your GED, maybe work at like a Walmart or something like that. Focus.
Man, this guy with 30k subs really needs to be scrutinized and destroyed for progress I've had. Dude, I'm not thinking of it along those lines. I don't think of it like he needs to be destroyed. I just think it's an interesting story. But that's okay, DK. You disagree. We can disagree on things. That's fine.
Focus on getting a car or something. Focus on a tutor. Literally, you can do it. All you had to do was get a private tutor. You said it yourself. Get a private tutor, extremely private, one-on-one for math. And that's how you can follow this. There's so many tutors online you can find, stuff like that, who can help you for those kinds of stuff. You can do it. Contact your aunt back in Washington. Say that you are trying to
actually, this fiddling with something, it helps with focus. I don't know if you know this, but I'm pretty sure it helps with focus. Not for ADHD, just generally. If you got something to... If you're playing with something in your fingers, it helps with focus, apparently.
Please let.
I will tell her. I was gonna message her earlier today, but then I did a different.
I don't have ADHD.
Okay. So definitely.
I was gonna message her today.
Okay. And definitely give me access to that document, and I will help you a little bit. I'm not gonna help you fully, but I will help you.
Just so you know, the document was originally like. I didn't know how bad things were, so the document was meant to be standalone. And then I was like, shit, I'm going to have to make this a video. And then I just decided I'm going to scrap this. I'm going to focus on myself. I'm not going to make a response until I can...
Guys, I'm going to set up a GoFundMe. I basically bought thousands of pounds worth of fidget toys that were badly judged. Now I'm in the shit. Please give me £100,000 to help me.
So it's just a very rough draft of something, and I was even wrong at some parts. Like, I changed my mind about some of the points I made really quickly.
Okay.
The doc sucks.
You should make ChudLogic Stim toy merch. I do need to do merch, man. I need to, dude. I don't know what to do. That's the problem. I don't know. I don't have a vision for what the merch should be. I don't want it to be fucking shit. I want it to be good. And then I say that, and someone sends me something. I'm like, okay, that looks alright, and then I never do anything about it. You know. Maybe I need to ask you guys what you want. What would you buy? Plushie. Do a Chud plush with your iconic voice lines. Do baby teas for women. ChudLogic's rice and meatloaf. Yeah. It'd be good. It'd be good to do some merch.
Honestly.
If you want, just then send me in private DMs. You can send me a comment thing. Like, you know, like there's editor, commenter, and viewer.
Yeah, because the people have got a tendency to make it like super online retarded shit. So people are like, oh, rate review, rate review. People don't want to wear a fucking rate review hoodie, okay? They want to wear something, you need something subtle.
Okay,
subtle that
wonderful.
identifies your appreciation for the brand.
Off depressed people?
Start pumping out fidget spinners or fidget cubes with the word rape on them.
Thank you for the super chats. Yes, maybe a fidget spinner with my face at the end of it or something. You need something. You need something that fits. I don't know, dude. I'll figure it out, okay?
Just send me the comment. You don't have to make me editor.
Yeah.
And then me and can probably not criticize you, give you good tips, and good, like, being like, hey.
Rate review blanket. Hey, sweetheart, feeling a bit cold. Let me just get my rate review blanket out and wrap it around you. Don't worry, nothing to worry about. Just something to keep you warm on this dark, scary night.
Hey, you're slipping again or something like that.
Yeah.
As long as you can be self-aware about it. I won't post you online or anything like that.
As long as, like, you try to work it out with me first, then that's what matters.
I will work it out with you first. I did try that before.
I know you did.
Before I went on Twitter.
I know.
So, yeah. Definitely try your best to get better and prove me wrong.
Off depressed people.
Rate review condoms. Bro, that'd be crazy. With the phase logo right in the middle. Rape above, review below. That's ideal, isn't it? You know? Ensure you don't leave your DNA at the scene of the crime with these official ChudLogic rape review condoms.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money
Oh.
off depressed people?
Fake glasses or beards or chud masks. It's not... Thank you for the suggestion, but I don't think we want to wear a ChudLogic mask, do they? Oh my god, dude. Well, clearly I shouldn't be hiring any of you to fucking design my merch, obviously.
You right. You can do it. You can prove me wrong. You can prove everyone wrong. You can do that. I know you can. I know very well you can. It's just that you got to start by maybe apologizing to your grandma for about burning your bridges and not being self-aware. Because I remember on your video...
She said she didn't want to talk to me anymore, so we haven't talked since then.
Okay, fair enough. I think you should still say, hey, I know you don't want to talk anymore. I know this. I'm not going to contact you anymore. I'm still wanting to apologize.
Yeah, I think
that kind of stuff. And go, like, start being self-aware. Start being like, hey, I realized I burned down my bridges. And
bro, you cannot wear a t-shirt. This call's nearly done. I'm kind of bored of this now. You cannot fucking wear a shirt with "the raped" on. Imagine trying to get through TSA or something like that. Well, haven't there been issues where people have been asked to remove offensive shirts on fucking
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Thank you for the $5. Head explode. And Nate, thank you for the $2. ChudLogic struggle cuddle hoodies.
Money off depressed people.
This is a good idea, I think.
Graphic tee, but in black metal font so you can't read it.
Oh my god, that is actually a great idea. Well, that's actually a really good idea. I'm not like a black metal kind of guy. But there's obviously people that probably watch me. And that would actually go really hard. That's actually a great idea.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Thank you, Head
How do
Explode.
I make money off depressed people?
I review women's drinking covers when?
Thank you, Mr. Hotbogger, for the $5. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, dude. But yeah, that would be the raped. The raped. That would be good in like black metal font, so you can't read it. But the in joke is obviously that's what it is. Oh man, I'd wear that. I'd wear that. Ooh, what does it say? Don't worry about it. Wearing it to pick up my kids from school. Dude. Oh, that's nice. What's that you got there? Then you got to explain it. Okay.
Up to you if you want to repair those bridges. That's up to you. Of course, I don't expect it anymore. Which sounds like minor guilt tripping, I guess, but it's being honest for those kind of stuff, which is why I am believing you. Because like sometimes guilt tripping can be real, especially if you don't have any other words.
People will attempt suicide, and it will affect those around them just as much as it affects them, and sometimes they can't see that.
No, we see that it's affecting you. But the thing is that you literally told me that you take your suicides as a joke.
I know.
So, like as a joke, you don't take it seriously.
Wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
I'm hoping.
Any merch that has the words rape review on them should be typed in the Wingdings font so nobody can tell what it says and so people think you're schizophrenic.
Thank you for the super chats. Thank you. Dude, Wingdings, that's classic. There's something where if you type a certain thing in Wingdings, it gives you 9/11. Do you know about that?
Hoping you're contradicting yourself in a good way. As in, like, I've grown and changed as a person. I don't think those anymore.
I have literally, like, earlier today, I was like, I I made an offhand comment to Zimri, and it's like, I'm sorry, I won't talk about the suicide thing anymore. I know it hurts you. I'll stop.
Good. Good. So definitely prove me wrong, prove everyone wrong, and prove yourself right. But you can change, because I know you can. I'm giving you reassurance. If you notice yourself slipping, be like, I'm slipping. You got to start being self-aware for those kinds of things. You have known.
I'm trying.
Yeah, and you have done it before, because I pointed out to you, hey, you're slipping, and you go, yeah, I know, I am, and then you've corrected yourself before. So you can do it. I know you can be self-aware by yourself. You can do it. But if you realize, I will say one wrong mistake when you slip back forward.
We're near the end and was going to
or something like that,
now, but,
which I know you probably won't because you're not online to, like, I guess, slip up.
Also, like, this is total coat. Birdie is just a total wretch, and, you know, they need to have some serious growing up or something like that. Can you... Oh, it's Parry, how's it going, mate? Yo, it's Parry, guys. What? Parry in chat. Whoa, let's go. Thanks for the raid earlier, by the way, mate. This video is ACC person pretending not to be a total freak, desperately yapping and barraging Birdie with lots of information they can't really process, while Birdie desperately tries to get in their good graces by emotionally manipulating them by crying, I guess would be my summary.
Online anyway. I will say that you should probably go to a hospital and be inpatient.
Yeah. I'll have to mull it over.
Yeah, definitely mull that over.
Yes, and you got the cat back.
I have to, like, my main priority is the Uber, the hotel, and then I work things out from there, you know, cross that bridge when I get there.
Definitely do that.
I've been trying to keep my priorities away from the internet because I know that it will make it hard to do those kind of tasks that I need to do.
And I'll be staying here the whole time. I thought I was going to leave, but now I think I should just stay because, you know, my mom's okay. She'll be fine. So I'll just probably stay here and just, like, talk with and, like, somewhere else. I don't know. So we'll just wait for you to get out. That's when I'll leave for that kind of thing.
Okay.
So, you know, yeah. So, yeah, I think that's enough for now. Do you want to go to your bedroom or something? Let me take off my shoes first. As I was putting my shoes on.
I'll get my...
Oh, these people are so wretched, bro.
Okay. That works. Beep. You want to take off your shoes, Lauren?
I'm actually going to bring it right here because...
Okay. No worries. You're good. And my recommendation, definitely get a new phone while you're at it, but I'll tell you if I find your old phone.
Yeah.
Again,
I still want to believe I can find it.
Okay.
Because I know that you did give it to me.
He's just
so
sick,
I
apparently.
must have it somewhere. And, like, even recently, like, I thought I lost some clothes and then I found it a few minutes later, so
Okay.
I did overreact about that.
Okay. All right, then. You want to go in your bedroom?
Yeah, damn. I mean, you know, it got quite boring towards the end, but yeah, some funny ACC wretch stuff there. What is this? Yeah, it's like, this is the kind of font, I think. This Harmful Opinions, apparently. It's that kind of font with the raped on. Something like that. As it is, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But, like, yeah, very elaborate so you can't see it. That'd be fun. There's another idea that I've said and I'll never ever do in a million. Dude, I do need to you know, need to get the money up. I don't really need to get the money up, but, you know, it'd be nice to be able to increase revenue streams. That's what I see you guys as, basically, just fucking dollar signs in my eyes, you know? How much more money can I squeeze out of my audience? Lazy logic. Yes, I'm lazy, I guess.